Nyanya everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of August 4th, 2019. On the cover, we've got everyone. Well, basically everyone, I think. Actually, who don't we have? Like, I used to always think, it's the two comedies plus Hinamaru Zumo, but all three of those ended, got moved to different magazines. I think Viz has basically everything right now. No, they don't have Yuuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. Yeah, Yuna's not here. I don't remember what else is running in Jump, though. Like, if anything's running in Jump that isn't on the Viz side of things. Like, Manga Plus would have the others, but I don't think Manga Plus has any, Weekly Shonen Jump exclusives. All their exclusives are Shonen Jump Plus series. Anyways, really cool cover. I mean, Luffy's never, stand out when it's a big One Piece, everyone doing One Piece stuff cover, because, he's himself. He's wearing a thing very similar to Roger's, though, which is kind of cool, but it's not that interesting. Asta's pretty generic. Oh boy, oof. Tanjiro looks like he's possessed. He's got those scary, scary eyes. There's a specific cover of Jump that I once, used to rag on all the time, because Emma had this exact same pose, and I was like, oh god, she looks like she's possessed, it's horrifying. I mean, We Never Learn Girl is always cute. Emma actually looks really good here. Like, all the others kind of just look like they're cosplaying, / they're doing generic poses. Emma looks like she's trying to do a piratey thing, in general. And, the braids, and she has extra braids, not just her usual one. That's really cool. Man, Posca did a really good job there. Deku, I mean, I think the hat's pretty cool. I just noticed the All Might hats. But, Deku's pose isn't that interesting. It's sort of a general Deku pose. Ooh, Senku. Okay, Boichi is always really good with these ones, of, giving Senku something interesting. He always goes a step beyond with the theme. It's not just a hat, it's always something else. I'm not sure why he has rocket launchers, though. Or, that's a rocket launcher, that's a Gatling gun. What kind of pirate is he supposed to be? Ooh, she's got, an Ebby balloon. That's cute. Okay, anyways, let's move on to Actage. This is Double Taisei, but why did I bring up Double Taisei? Oh, I mean, I'm not going to read it anyways. Sorry, let's move on to Actage, Chapter 76, Chance of Victory. Okay, so I believe this is, it's on actual play, but it is an actual book, I believe. There is an actual novel in the real world that focuses on the Fire Mountain, I think. I remember looking it up. But either way, I don't know any of the specifics about it, so it's nice that we're getting the explanation. In the same way they've got the explanation for the Galactic Railroad, even though the Galactic Railroad is a real thing. It's just a good thing to do if you're going to, focus a lot on this thing in the series, without telling your audience, hey, go look this up. Oh, she's the one who owns this. I know it's Princess Iron fan, but I didn't make the connection. I remember this fan from Dragon Ball as, the one fan that Master Roshi had that could have potentially put out the Ox King's, Flaming Mountain. Which I guess was all a reference to this. I just, didn't know. Okay. This is the tale of Princess Iron Fan's wrath, a wrath deeper than jealousy or self-loathing. And we can see, we do know that the author of the play is, in fact, someone who is always mad, always angry. That's why her anger is personified by the flames. And as a result, I imagine Princess Iron Fan is really a big self-insert for her. Which means that Son Goku is really, she's the main character. Son Goku's just the one being bounced off of in order to show off her feelings. Her, deep, deep emotions. I wonder if there is going to be, someone who has to play the Ox King. I guess not, though. The whole point of it would be, that's the character that never shows up. Just, we only know about him through what other people say about him. There's no hint of the Angel of Stars now. Is she really Kyoko Momoshiro? Yeah, that's true. She is also just highly playing against type here. It reminds me a lot of, Daniel Radcliffe, not after the Harry Potter movies, but, in between. I want to say after, the fifth one. I think that was when he went out and did Equus, which is a very, very, different direction from Harry Potter. Very, indie, very scandalous. And we got a whole bunch of articles and stuff about how, oh my gosh, Harry Potter is doing this. But I do think it really did open him up. Because the girl who plays Hermione, Emma Watson, she's kind of played to type more or less. But she's more or less just been I haven't really seen a lot of great roles that she's done. The biggest one was really Beauty and the Beast, right? And even that was kind of And then Rupert Grint just decided to sort of step to the wayside. Like, he still does stuff, but not really. He mostly just kind of, lives off his Harry Potter money, and he has fun with his life, which is cool in its own way. But Daniel Radcliffe, like, really did a good job of separating himself from Harry Potter, like, halfway through Harry Potter. And I think this could do something to Chiyoko. Like, Chiyoko's whole problem here was that she was going to be typecast as, the perfect actress, the perfect pure girl. And this is part of, this big attempt to break her away from that. So in a few years, when she outgrows her babyface role, she'll still be able to take, like, a bunch of bigger roles. She'll be able to move into a different type of character acting. Yeah, she's a professional, far easier to work with than Yanagi. But, like, she doesn't have that godly feel to her. And I imagine part of it is legitimately because she is the pure girl. Like, even if there's no hint of that, at the same time, like, deep down inside, that's what she knows how to play. She knows to be the angel. But right now, she has to be the bitter, vicious wife. Like, it's something that doesn't really suit her design at all. Whereas with Yanagi, like, I think she is just generally more versatile. Like, she can look super cute. She can look very androgynous. And here, we can see that she can look like, the evil, scary woman. Like, it feels weird to say that Chiyoko's the underdog here, but at the same time, like, I could see, like, I think she is closer to Princess Ironfan than Yanagi is. Like, Yanagi's approaching the role through the sense of, like, I need to be godlike. I need to have that divine quality in order to play against someone who naturally has very divine quality. I think Chiyoko is going to approach it from the sense of, like, she is the angry one. She's the one who is, being looked over. She's the one who the world is cheating on with Yanagi. And so she's the vicious person who wants to let it all out, who wants to take back her, her prime. I think she could totally do that. I don't think he would be that kind of guy. Like, I don't think he would pull punches just because it's Chiyoko. It might be closer to just, like, he can't see what her problem is, or rather, like, she needs to, like, contact him. She needs to say, like, hey, here's my problem. Can you help me with it? I think that might be it. Right. When you compare my performance to Yanagi's, which was more captivating? Actually, what if she's doing, like, I don't think she's ignoring the fans, or, like, I think she's not doing it because she's, like, swept up in the emotion as much as she's doing it intentionally. Like, I think she's trying to portray Princess Ironfan by trying to become more cruel, or, more aloof. And so that's why she's doing this. Yeah. The fact that she's chosen this approach means abandoning everything she's cultivated this far. It means totally relinquishing the status and popularity she earned as an angel. That said, like, that feels a bit too far. Like, there's no reason why you can't do both. Like, why not portray someone very vindictive and cruel while also being a very kind person in real life? Like, there are characters that do that all the time. The WWEs are actually a really good instance of a group of actors that can portray very, like, angry or scary characters, but in their private lives or, just off screen, they're not that scary. Even if they do keep up the kayfabe, they can still also be personable. What kind of pets does she have? I mean, it's very clean here, so, like, but that said, actually, I was gonna say, like, it's so clean, like, there's no fur anywhere. But she probably has someone who comes in and cleans for her, so that's not a problem. I want to help her win, not Yanagi, but Chiyoko. I really appreciate that, because, like, he could have, we could have set this up as a thing where he intentionally tries to sabotage Chiyoko, or he just doesn't give her advice because he wants Yanagi to win. But I think it makes way more sense to do it like this, because, like, it stops it from feeling like a traditional shonen battle. Because, like, Yanagi is, at once, she's the new girl, still learning things, still trying to live up to expectations, still trying to be on the level of Ogami, while at the same time, she's the one who needs to be beaten from, by the B team. That's a really cool dynamic. Like, it's very hard to be, the man to beat and also be the underdog at the exact same time. But right now, Actage is pulling that off perfectly. Yeah, she has changed so much. This is amazing. I know that Yonagi's a genius, and I'm not. I'm just a normal girl, slightly more clever than most. I started acting because the person I looked up to flattered me. I'm not one of the chosen stars of this world. I know that, but I hate losing. I hate it. I mean, it is pretty amazing. I'm not a big fan of the slight arc that we're building up of Yanagi's dad with someone super important, but at the same time, like, I really like this direction we're taking with this arc. You know, the idea that Yanagi is, you know, the freakish prodigy, and Shioko is absolutely not. Like, she was really, really good, but she was really good because she started when she was young and she just committed to it. And in, you know, in the face of freakish, you know, shonen main character talents, she is on the run. She doesn't have that. She has to just fight harder and harder to get, you know, to keep what she has. I really respect that. Hmm. Okay, and he is taking the same tactic that I had of, yeah, it's a story of rage, of a wrath deeper than jealousy or self-loathing. So she's gonna do that. She's gonna embody that feeling. And that's true. It's not like she hasn't had internal anguish. It's just she's been looking away from it. She's been trying to give off the feeling of a perfect actress who has never had to struggle. But like this is where she can do that about face turn. That's where she can like delve deep into it. She can turn it into her therapy arc as well. Are you ready? Are you ready to let go of being the angel? Oh boy. Okay, I am real excited. Like she's gonna burn up. She's going to get rid of it all. I kind of wish she wouldn't. Like, I like the concept of her potentially being, you know, keeping her old fame and doing something new. Like, just taking it all. But if she's not capable of that, if she has to go down deep in order to, like, portray Princess Ironfan, then so be it. Overall, fantastic chapter. In terms of Act Dodge chapters, I won't say it's the best, but it is a good chapter. Like, I did enjoy it quite a bit. So with that, let's move right on to Black Clover, chapter 215, Three Problems. So, Julia survived. No one really commented about this. I don't know how many people actually watch my Black Clover reactions, but I was pretty oof. I was of mixed emotions about it. But thinking about it, like I do think it makes sense. Like especially after like rewatching my reaction once or twice, you know, during editing, I realized that you know I did bring up a good point of like what if he does have to like grow back into being the Wizard King? That's the main thing. If I was right about, you know, the one page about him having lost everything, then that'd be kind of cool. Like he clearly still has his memories. So it'd be cool if he was just, you know, the advisor to the next Wizard King or something. It would suck if he was still the Wizard King and he was still alive. Cuz that would just, you know, like that would erase the point of him being killed. That's the main thing. I want to see how they managed to make this death impactful while still having him around. This is a fantastic page, or like panel specifically, because like this is the audience reaction of, "Hey, no, you were dead. Where's my motivation anymore? What happened to my arc?" So I assume he's going to then bring up like, "Yeah, this you know this isn't a real do-over. This isn't an extra life. Like, there's a big problem here." Okay, and so it's going to be the same thing as Patry. Like, sure, William, you know you screwed up, but now you're gonna have to rebuild. You're gonna have to give it your all in order to fix what fix what you've caused. Hmm. I'm also responsible for losing that fight. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, what are our three problems? Okay. Oh, she's never seen him. Or I guess he would have also he would also just be difficult to recognize. But like the outfit would be a dead giveaway. Or I guess you would have just like most people would just assume at this point this is like the kid of the Wizard King, or it's just a kid wearing the Wizard King's outfit or something. Yeah, because Asta doesn't even say like that face or anything. He's just saying that key. Okay, yeah, so that was what was left of his grimoire. And also, like, we're not seeing the other side, so I'm thinking that this is actually meant to be like a one-sided page. Like, just the part he's looking at is the part with spells on it. Otherwise, like, we would see at least, scribbles on it, right? If not actual runes. Its name is Swallowtail. And it is, like, it's technology, too. They were working on it, so is this something that she made? I mean, it's also sealing magic. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Because, like, it's also a one-time thing. He used up all of it, no second chances, no more revives, and he can't do it to anyone. It's just he was able to do it with all the time he had stored up. I think that's completely fine. It's just, where do we go from here? I bet she's feeling those vibes of, oh boy, it's just like, it's just like my best friends. Yeah, your magic is probably quite unique. Oh, if only you knew. If only you knew. Okay, problems 2 and 3 are very closely related. According to my predictions, if nothing changes, the Clover Kingdom will be destroyed by other nations. Okay. Moreover, Asta will die. Or possibly both. Okay. So... Wait, what? Wait. Is that the entire chapter? Okay, it's definitely shorter than usual. Like, this is 11 pages, so... Man, that's a short chapter. What happened to Yuki Tabata? Like, I guess Yuki Tabata was just sick or something. Because, like, this was not a chapter. I'm usually not a big, like... I'm not... we've had a lot of really, really good chapters, so I'll let it slide. But as far as just a chapter of Black Clover goes, this wasn't good. Like, that said, though, I kind of like this idea, like... I assume this wasn't intentional. There probably were meant to be more pages, but it had to be cut off. But I kind of like the idea of just a chapter that's like, all right, so here's all the stuff we kind of had to get out of the way. Like, hey, Wizard King's alive. Here's the explanation. I guess here's like us elaborating on the explanation, and then hey, Asta's here, Noelle's here. Who else is here? Not Mimosa. Oh boy, what is her name? Is it Mimosa? It's been a while. Or no, it hasn't been. I said it like 2 days ago. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting the chapter to end there. I guess the big bombshells are, if nothing changes, the Clover Kingdom will be destroyed by other nations. Fair enough. Like, obviously, they don't have a Wizard King anymore, and they were just attacked, by the elves. Once word of that comes out, they'll be like, oh, the Clover Kingdom is extremely weak, they're rebuilding, why not invade? And then secondarily, Asta will die. I mean, the first problem was, that he's no longer the Wizard King, which, fair enough. The third one, we really don't have any information on. Like, it's a bombshell, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like, I feel like it's going to be that, there's something to it. Like, anti-magic is killing him, or, the devil inside is going to burst out of him at some point. Like, it's not going to be a, like, he's going to die within a week thing. It's got to be something closer to just like, hey, there's this big danger now. Yeah, that's a much shorter chapter than usual, so I'm going to leave it at that. Probably not going to be like a top tier chapter, but yeah. Anyways, let's not dwell on it anymore. Let's move on to The Last Saiyuki, Chapter 22, Before Daybreak. Right after Koharu was born, she felt an intense fear. I mean, understandably, because she was created out of such intense fear. What if that materialized? Plus, there's the danger of, like, if enough people with open Mo look up and they go, oh, is it the end? They might actually make it into the end. Like, that's a possibility, right? Yeah, so, like, usually that wouldn't have happened. It's because it's so intense. Because it was so heavily compressed. Some of it managed to leak on through into Kohaku. Or Koharu. But he didn't want his son to be Sai. He just wanted to quell Kei's fear, right? I mean, that is a possibility, too. Like, we have mentioned before that Sai can be anyone. And we know right now Sai is a boy chosen by, our evil squad. But there is always the possibility that Sai, or that Ryunosuke can become Sai. And even then, like, that can lead to the flash forward, in which, in order to, manifest the world's evil and then defeat it, they have to have Koharu go on the air and revive everyone. Like, the pathway is vague, but it's also very clear now. Like, it's a lot easier to understand how we're going to get there, but the actual specifics aren't really set. The Sai prepared was born from the remnants of a 7th century egg of truth. You think your son is more qualified? So it's just the opportunity. That's really cool in its own way. Like, it's the exact opposite of what we thought he wanted from Ryunosuke. From the very start, it seemed like he was using Ryunosuke as a tool, but rather it was the opposite. It was like he didn't mind whether Ryunosuke became a tool or not. What he wanted was just to give him that chance, the possibility that Kei would smile on him and give him power, which she is doing right now. Like, not quite in the same way. We still don't understand what exactly she's doing with him, but it's something. It's more than he would have had if he had just lived in ignorance. I knew a normal person in that eternal hell would have forgotten why they were still there. The one desire I'm sure Momo never forgot, the shining light of our despair. Give Ryunosuke a future. Huh. And so they kept her for a straight year. Like, an entire year. And even then, she wasn't a completely blank slate. Like, I guess she was, but like, it seems like she still has those memories just buried deep, deep, deep down inside, which is why she manifested the gates. Right, the only thing that was left behind Kaoru was a memory reel of Momo's hell. Like, why would you want to relate to her on that level specifically? Ryunosuke had a chance to become Sai. So I guess Master Dotsu must have just done it real quick, well, within that 1 year time skip. Like, he must have just brought in the egg and then, like, had it exposed to Kei, just quickly enough. Okay, so yeah, this is the part that he did in fact script out properly. Once Ryunosuke learned of Koharu's kindness, I knew he would completely accept Koharu. In the end, I was no different from Master Dotsu. Which I get, like, I really do love Gohaku a lot as a character. Like, now that we get him, now that we understand him. And I even love the fact that we didn't understand him at first, because you can't go towards understanding someone unless you take a little time to not understand them. Like, that's pretty obvious, but yeah. And yeah, I do appreciate that he is saying right here, like, yeah, I have no pity for you, because I don't think this is necessarily meant to make you pity Gohaku. It's more just, it's meant to show you his side of things. It's meant to make him less of a completely inexplicable character. And I do, like, pity him to some extent. But, that's my decision. That's because I'm much more prone to pitying characters. That's why I told you. That's why I called you here that day. That's why I entrusted Ryunosuke to you. Man, I have a very big soft spot for half-boiled characters. For characters that, are trying to do a thing, but that's not really what their characterization is like. Or rather, that's not what their personality is truly like. They have this vision of what they want to act like, but that's not what they really are. So, like, I really appreciate that Gohaku chose him specifically for that sensibility. For the fact that he is such a softie. Even if he doesn't feel like it, even if he doesn't try to show it, it's super apparent. Like, it's his strength is the fact that he can't commit to what he's trying to commit to. Ah, God, Ryunosuke. He's such a pure boy. Like, I guess pure isn't quite the correct word to use here. It's more just like, he has a very simple mindset. It's a very pure mindset. Even if he's not, like, completely pure as a person. It's more just that, like, he had a very relatable fear, but in the end, like, because he understands that everyone had a clear purpose, like, because he knows that no one did anything out of malice, he doesn't hate anyone here. Oh, God, that's a good 2-page spread. It's so simple, too. I already know that you're not human, and that these hands are colder to touch than anyone else's, are kinder and warmer than anyone else's, too. Aww. No matter where you go, no matter how much time passes, I will always be with you, because you are my little sister. Like, this really did just confirm it. That, before she was his little sister, but now, it confirms it in more ways than one. What's Estelle gonna say? I mean, I assume it's also gonna be pretty wholesome. I doubt she's gonna say, we're gonna kill Koharu. But man, this was a good chapter. Not as good as last time. Like, last time was an absolute banger. Like, probably one of my favorite chapters of the entire issue last time. I think genuinely my favorites. Like, We Never Learn, I put really, really high because it appealed to certain fetishes of mine. But in terms of, like, pure emotional resonance, The Last Saiyuki was fantastic last week. This is more of a falling action. But, I mean, it is cool that we can do falling action in something that is entirely emotional. Like, there is no actual fighting. Or, like, the fighting, if there was one, there might have been a tiny bit of fighting last week. Not really. I think it was just, like, Gohaku's pose. That was the most violent thing there. Or no, I guess it was, seeing all the scary things happen. Like, that could have been interpreted as action, but, like, the main purpose of this has been an emotional arc. And it's pretty cool that in a shonen series, where I usually don't expect there to be emotional arcs, or where I expect them to be, put part and parcel with a fight, or with something more actiony to appeal to all audiences, that The Last Saiyuki is willing to just step aside and do a bunch of dialogue. Like, I don't think it would work very well as an anime series, and it feels like a big gamble for a Jump series. But it makes me so happy that it exists. Like, I hope it sells well, because it is fantastic. Hot damn. I assume what Estelle's going to say is just, like, promise me that you're not going to, split up. Or that, like, this is going to get real rough. Promise me that no matter what, like, you're still going to fight for humanity, maybe. Like, I don't think she would doubt their connection to each other here. It might be closer to just like, all right, I'm willing to stand by your side and I'll protect both of you, but in exchange, you have to make sure you don't betray humanity. Which is a fair ask. Apart from that, I said everything I want to say. Good chapter. Where did I place it? Did I place it anywhere? I'll put it below Actage this week. I liked the Actage chapter better. But this Black Clover chapter, I don't think anything's going to go lower than it. It wasn't really a chapter. Alright, so let's move on to We Never Learn, chapter 122. Okay, so we've got Sensei at the Super Kawaii Mart. Again, rooting for Sensei at this point. Rooting first and foremost for, best waifu, but second place, Sensei. I would rather have Sensei win than any of the other girls that are likely to win. At this point, I've accepted Komanami's not going to win. I've got that 1% chance, though. Maybe, just maybe. But realistically, like, I think it would actually hurt people who even like Komanami if Sensei won. Like, it would feel too bitter. It'd be one of those things where, like, the ship you wanted wins, but it's not the ship anyone wanted. Okay, so she bought a cake. Thus, they quietly celebrate X. Maybe it's her sister's birthday or something. Or, like, a certain anniversary, perhaps? I can see that. Congratulations! Happy birthday to me! Aww. I mean, it's a little sad that she has to do this without anyone else being here, but at the same time, like, I think it is fun in its own rights. Like, I've done this myself. Just because no one was home at the time, and it's, it is fun in its own right. Like, there is a coziness to just having a meal with yourself, having an entire cake and choosing to only have, like, 2 slices. You say you're only gonna have one, but then you have a second one, because why not? Like, there is something nice to it. That said, I'm assuming Naruyuki's gonna get in here somehow. Okay. What are you two doing in my closet? I know someone did a checklist of how many girls in the series have worn the maid outfits. I wonder if we can do a list of, like, how many times has Yuuna been in, like, a closet with X character? Because I feel like at this point, it's got to be one of everyone. I mean, if you're including Miharu, too. Like, Miharu's never been in a maid outfit, as far as I can tell. Or as far as I can remember. But then, like, she would be checked off on the list of girls that have been in a closet alone with Yuuna. Okay, today's December 28th. What are you talking about? By the way, I do appreciate that We Never Learn is one of the few series where birthdays do matter. In the sense that, like, we know most of the characters' birthdays, and they do matter because they've actually shown up in series. Or if they haven't, it's because we haven't really gotten to them yet. Like, we still haven't crossed the 1-year thresholds. But I really appreciate that. Like, whenever a series does that, and it actually matters. Like, the other thing would be, like, blood types, where, like, you see a bunch of blood types in a data book, and then later on in the series itself, they need to get a blood transfusion, and it's all accurate, and they get a transfusion from someone else that, the readers could possibly guess. But that's super duper rare. That seems not so good. Don't take advantage of your own sister. That's not okay. Okay. So it wasn't even, like, an extended thing. They just got in. Okay, fair enough. I thought that was going to be the whole chapter. Like, I thought it was going to be, like, them going out and getting all this stuff and then ending up in their closets. For what purpose? Why would you do this? I mean, to be fair, I would love to get a doll of myself made for my significant other and vice versa. I mean, it might be kind of weird. Like, we're going to move in together pretty soon, so it might be weird to do it then, but I don't know. There's still a coziness to it. Okay, I didn't have a chance to get you a proper present. So, what's this? I'm sorry this is all I have, but I hope you'll accept it. One wildcard pass. I'll do anything you say. Oh my. Command me as you will, Sensei, or rather, Mistress Maifuyu. I mean, first of all, that's extremely forward. Like, we're going all in. Even for a dream sequence, that's extremely, extremely lewd. Oh, and of course, he explained it as a whisper, so Miharu doesn't get to understand it. All she gets to hear is that her sister accepted, after a bit of whispering. As if the romantic involvement wasn't risque enough, I had no idea they were so kinky. I mean, that said, like, she already accepted it a couple chapters ago. Now it's just confirmed. Like, she thinks it's lewd, but she's not gonna say no. That's all I can accept. God. I kind of want to see a chapter that's every girl's, like, just mental image of Yuiga. Like, you know, exaggerated, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be that interesting. But I would like to see, like, which of them thinks he's the lewdest, which of them thinks that he's, like, the least lewd. Honestly, I assume it would actually be just, uh, I mean, Mafia Sensei really wouldn't think of him as that lewd. Uh, I think in terms of sheer lewdness, it has to be Miharu, actually. Like, because she does have these super extreme, like, lewd thoughts of him. Whereas all the other girls either, like, think of him as, you know, like, oh, I'm the bad person because I like him, which is not a mindset I really enjoy. But it's either that, or in the sense, or, you know, when it comes to, boy, oh boy, I forgot her name. Komanami. Like, Komanami specifically thinks the exact opposites. Like, it's not like she looks down upon him, but it's more like, you know, she understands how innocent he really is. Like, she doesn't actually jump to conclusions because she gets what, you know, that he is a harem main character. So I guess it would be, you know, she would think that he's the least dangerous, and Chiharu would think he's the most dangerous. This isn't time for you to be worrying about my birthday. But it looked like she was about to say something. I don't understand what her expression was meant to convey. Boy, oh boy. I feel like we need to have a talk with Miharu at this point. Like, she is just outright roofing her sister at this point. This is not okay. Bottle, alcohol. Okay, just to confirm it. But, like, I mean, a lot of people have this idea that it's not roofing if it's alcohol, and yes, that is technically not the term, but you can, like, it is morally incorrect to intoxicate someone more than they intend to be intoxicated. Like, you know, if someone's drinking beer and you know, put a shot into their beer, or you do something else, you know, you give them a lot of sugary drinks that are actually extremely strong. Like, that's not okay. That's the thing. Like, I believe that intoxication is, you know, it's fine to do some stuff when you're intoxicated. I'm not as hardline as other people who say, like, once you're intoxicated, 100% consent is impossible. But I think there's a limit. Like, you have to be as intoxicated as you intended to be. Like, I think that even not knowing your own limits is still a form of, like, you know, that's too far. Like, if you clearly messed up, you drank too much, then that's it. You should be off limits. Ah. Oh my. Thank you for dedicating your precious time to me. It's bittersweet and beautiful all at the same time. Ah. That's cool though. Like, it wasn't even a big extended thing. Again, I keep feeling that the chapter's gonna go one way, but it doesn't. Like, it zigzagged so much. Like, she's already asleep. Aw, and she's willing to admit it too. But yeah, like, Yuiga has made Mafuyu's, like, life a lot better. It feels weird calling her Mafuyu. Like, I usually just call her Sensei. Hmm. Okay, if my sister's absolutely content with her path, I suppose it must be her true calling. Aww. Oh my god. Okay, that is the most wholesome thing. That's legitimately incredible. In the end, she gave you the presents instead. Hot damn. But alright, so I think we're good. I think we can move forward. If I have any other problems, at me in Weekly Shonen Jump. Also, tell me on the stream, but in case that doesn't work, you know how it is. So, on to something that is hopefully not confusing in the slightest. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 33. Oh man. Fujimoto's art sense is incredible. Like, the bloody necktie, it's so good. It's everything I could possibly want. Also, did we get a color image of Aki before? I don't remember him having like green eyes, especially because he is Japanese. Like, usually that wouldn't bother me because whatever, it's manga. But like, Aki is such a stereotypically Japanese guy. Like, he's such a bland guy, and that like that's part of his charm. I'm not putting him down. That is part of what makes him the way he is. So it is surprising that he has something so striking. Hey, the pills are here, one. Okay, so I assume these are the hands of the future devil then. So we're hopefully going to see what stranglehold it has upon him now. I mean, the contract seemed to just be, I'm going to live in your eye. But even that could pose a problem. Like, is it just, he's dormant in the eye until the time happens, until Aki ends up being killed? Or is he going to be like a roommate, just like playing music and watching the radio and other such things? Oh. Homie, that is the strangest excuse to have to leave I've ever heard in my entire life. Not bragging on you for it, but boy oh boy. Also, is that difficult to make a hot dog? I might be speaking from a place of privilege though. I make hot dogs quite often. Anyways, I do think this might be the future devil's power. Because, I don't know, because the future devil said in your eye, not in your eyes, but specifically in your eye, it makes me think that he probably did, like, his eyes are probably naturally green, and when he uses his power, he's going to have, an offset eye. He's going to have, like, a Sharingan. Okay, anyways, it's chapter 33, Mission starts. Also, he's by a beach, but I don't know if that has any greater meaning to it. I guess it must, now that I think about it, because, like, Fujimoto is a person who is all about those crazy artistic choices. Like, he could have chosen something way, less normie if he wanted to. So I feel like it's going to be important. Oh, it'd be so cool, actually, if this is the place where he dies. If, like, in the moment that he dies, we see this exact scene again. We're going to sightsee in Tokyo, then return to Kyoto, says a person who I believe will never return to Kyoto. I mean, Miss Makima did not seem to think that they were going back to Kyoto, so I doubt it's going to happen. Whether that means they're going to die, or if they're going to be like permanently reassigned here, I feel like they're here to stay. You'll probably never see us again. Okay. He lost his battle to an enemy who killed about 20 Special Division agents. What makes you think you can defeat the devil that killed millions of people around the world? Right. You're so weak, yet you give yourself a goal like the main character of a manga. It's so cringy, it gives me goosebumps. Huh. I mean, it is a very main character-y thing to do, but I think, that's part of what makes Aki so powerful. Because Denji has very little of a drive. Like, he does have a big thing he wants to do. He wants to get that, do whatever I want to Miss Makima, card. But Aki has the real noble goal, the big, insurmountable task. Like, even Denji's is theoretically possible if if Miss Makima decides, hey, you don't have to kill the Gun Devil, I'll just, I'm feeling lonely, come to bed with me. Like, that's still theoretically possible. Like, Denji's goal is ultimately not that insane. Whereas Aki's is, I'm going to destroy, number one. I'm going to take out the biggest, baddest thing in the entire world. But yeah, like, it's that insanity that gives him a drive to, like, move on. Okay. I'll leave you with one last piece of advice. Everybody in the Special Division is insane, so be careful. Alright, I mean, they left on surprisingly amicable terms. Definitely not going to go back to Kyoto, though. If they do, I'm going to be super surprised. Incidentally, I'm curious to see how the zombie invasion is going to happen. Like, are we going to, like, is it going to be a thing where we go to the villains for a bit and we see how they set it up? Or is it going to be something like this? Like, where it's just a part of the arc and then suddenly zombies everywhere? Because, like, theoretically, in order to make a zombie invasion big, especially because we don't know if they have the zombie devil. I don't believe they do, actually, because they just said they had the zombies, and we didn't see the zombie devil. Like, in that case, the best course of action would be, like, tie up each individual zombie and then, like, go around in a big white van and just drop one zombie off, in every, like, half a kilometer or so in a general area. Like, spread them out so that they can infect a ton of people without overlapping each other, for little bits. That's the thing, though. We don't know how devils die, or like what causes a devil to actually be dead. Because I thought the fox devil was dead when Sword Boy like cut open its head and like smashed into its brain matter, but it was fine. Or like supposedly, it seems like fox devil is alive, but just doesn't like hockey anymore. Because of that, like I don't want to say definitively that like the zombie devil or eternity devil are actually dead, as much as they might be disabled or something. Especially because devils are this like manifestation of people's fears. Just because the devil dies doesn't mean that people stop fearing that thing. So theoretically, shouldn't that mean that like once a devil dies, they're immediately reborn as long as people keep fearing that thing? That's the big question, though, because like part of the concept of the series is also that the gun devil can die. That, if you were to kill the gun devil, it would not immediately be replaced by a different gun devil feeding off of everyone's fears of guns that still exists. Like, theoretically, they should be killable, but we haven't seen any absolute proof, or like we haven't seen any rules as to how they can 100% be killed. That is to say, like, maybe the zombie devil that we saw was destroyed by Denji. Maybe if there is another zombie devil that has spawned at some point, perhaps it just isn't dealing with Yakuza anymore, or it's not dealing with the Gun Devils faction or whatever. Anyways, let's move on. I haven't even read this page yet. Oh boy. This reminds me of that scene. You know that scene. And Fujimoto is the kind of guy who absolutely would trace from porn. Like, I don't know if it's one-to-one, but it has that same vibe. Hey, homie. Okay. I need you to understand I did not order this hits. Okay. So, that is true information. Like, Sawatari is her name as far as we know. For 20,000 yen payment to the Gun Devil, contractors can get guns and ammo. That's actually nothing. Like 20,000 yen. That's like $200, right? Am I missing a factor of 10? I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that's $200. Like, that's nothing. That's actually less than just going out and buying a gun in Canada right now. Maybe devils need money in their world too. This feels like a lie. Especially because, it's a bunch of Yakuza that have guns, that have contracts with the Gun Devil. That feels like something he would have just set up. Especially because Grandpa was, he was working in league with the Yakuza. I definitely believe that's, this... I'm not going to say that he's betraying them or, like, he's in league with Sawatari, but at the very least, I don't think that his, like, what he's saying right here is exactly accurate. I mean, could he do that? Would he have names from the other syndicates? Like, would he know who has contracts with the Gun Devil and who doesn't? But, clearly with this, he completely expects that, they're not even going to lose their contracts. They're just going to go to prison for a little bit. Like, it's no big deal. I mean, I didn't take this as, like, gospel that devils actually do have their own world. I thought he was just kind of talking out of his butts. Because I also don't believe that this is the actual contract. Maybe it is? I highly, highly doubt it. That doesn't seem like... it just fundamentally doesn't really make sense compared to every other contract we've seen. They've all been for, for food, for sustenance, or for like a thing that needs to be done. We've never seen one that was just straight up for money that was instigated by a devil. I guess we've never seen one for money at all. Like, it's always been for stuff. And I guess you could say that money is stuff in a way, but still. Even if I knew names, if it got out that I squealed, we'd have an interworld family war on our hands. So, Are you familiar with the phrase necessary evil? I feel like Makima is extremely familiar with the phrase necessary evil. Okay. Sure. I mean, I have heard this in a socioeconomic sense before. Like, it's the same reason why RBC, for instance. Was it RBC? I'm pretty sure it's RBC, but I don't want to slander them. The bank that, like, they're a big part of the, like, African drug trade. Like, a lot of the big things come down to, like, oh, well, we are a Western company, and we're the ones dealing with this. So it's better if we do it than if the gangs do it. We're still doing things that gangs would do, but we're not gangs. So isn't it better if we, a legal banking company that, operates in America, that operates in Canada, if we're the ones who process all this African drug money? Like, and to be fair, in this world, especially because it is not an ideal world, I do feel like necessary evils are important. The big question is just, which evils are necessary? Who gets to choose? This also does feel like political commentary in a way. Like, the Yakuza are a real force in Japan right now. They have entire office buildings. So I could see this being like a direct criticism of the Mafia, or of the Yakuza. Okay, this isn't money. Boy, oh boy, what did she do? Is it going to be, this is your son? I smushed him into paste. It's everyone here's fathers, mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, brothers, sisters, lovers, and wives. Their eyes. Okay. It's a little less intense than what I was thinking. I thought she was about to say, this is all of those people. Which, I mean, from a mass perspective, how would you do that? Still, though, the fact that it's their eyes is honestly even more disturbing. Because it means that, someone, whether a devil or a hunter, had to go out and get all of those eyes individually, and none of them called these people. Like, none of them, grabbed the phone and said, hey, my eyes were ripped out, help, or I'm at the hospital, or anything like that. Which means either this happened extremely soon, like it happened like 5 minutes ago, or like they're all being restrained, perhaps. I mean, maybe Makima did it herself. That's the thing, like, this is also fundamentally not what we've seen before. Like, the very first hints we got at her power were, her general thoughts about being hungry. She used to say that a lot, and that could have just been a general I'm a devil / I'm contracted with a devil thing. After that, we got the weird smushy thing she was doing with the convicts. And now this doesn't seem smushy at all. Like, I guess it could be the same thing in the sense of, like, instead of doing a smush, maybe it was more of a pull. Like, she just chose, like, 40 different people and then, like, pulled their eyeballs out. Also, like, this could potentially be a bluff. Like, I'm assuming there really are, like, a ton of eyes in there, but, I mean, if you saw your lover's eyes in front of you, would you be able to tell if they're those eyes specifically? Like, I am deeply, deeply in love with donuts, but don't get me wrong. But if I saw just his disembodied eyes in front of me, I don't think I'd be able to definitively say that those were his. Oof. Also, I do appreciate that Fujimoto drew, like, the backs properly with all the viscera. Like, they're not clean eyes. Clean eyes are a bit of, like, if it's a goofy series, then it's fine, or if they're meant to be, like, spiritual eyes, then sure. But if they're physical eyes, it always takes me out of it, if they're, like, perfect spheres. You gotta have at least an area for the optic nerve to connect to. Okay, rest assured, public safety has someone who can put these eyes back the way they were before. I mean, I guess for that, like, if she ever wants to use this again as an incentive, then they have to be the actual eyes. It can't be a bluff. It can't just be some, like, bonus eyes from somewhere. I wonder if she's referring to herself, though. I doubt it, though. Like, her power seems to be very versatile, but I highly doubt that she can heal people. Like, I'll say that in general, actually. If she had the power to heal people, I mean, it wouldn't matter with the whole Gun Devil execution thing, because clearly she wanted all those people to die, but I don't know. Maybe she can. Maybe she is just talking about herself. That's completely possible. I guess it's more from a story perspective, it would feel a bit broken, but at the same time, like, the 4th Division never really works with Makima. Like, we'd never have a situation where it'd be broken because Denji loses his head and Makima's there to put it back on. Because, first of all, like, especially with the new 4th Division, with all the people that are going to be fiends or they're going to have contracts, like, a ton of people are going to have healing factors, so that's not even that big of a bonus. And secondarily, Makima's probably not even going to be there most of the time. So I guess she could just be able to do it herself. If she does have a contract with the No You Devil, like I suspected before, could she know you herself? Like, could she... I mean, I don't know how No You would apply to pulling out these eyeballs. I feel like that would just be like a general using your devil like a stand thing of, hey, go out and grab some eyeballs. But then could she know you the eyeballs back into their heads? Boy, oh boy. I mean... I do want to say this is it is a bit intense, but at the same time, I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. What's she doing to him? What's she doing to him? What is this? I mean, it looks like, bleeding from the eyes, bleeding from the nose. That's usual. That's general signs of a, like, brain hemorrhage in fiction. Like, it's the classic, I'm using my psychic powers too much and now I'm bleeding from the brain thing. But is that what she's doing? Like, what are the mechanics of this? Is she just grabbing his brain and giving it a good old squeeze? Or, because that's the thing, like, this is definitely not a no you. Because, like, he didn't punch her or anything. He was just moving to hurt her. And then he started hemorrhaging blood everywhere. I mean, What if she's contracted to a death devil? I could see it. I guess there's also the possibility that, like, I was bringing this up at the very start, but maybe the person who pulled out all the eyes isn't her. Like, that needs to be addressed. She is a higher up. It's completely possible that she could have just called someone. She could have called the, losing your eyes devil holder and said, like, hey, I need some eyes that need... How would you phrase that? There are some eyes in this world that need to get lost. Except they're not lost, they're in her bag. So I guess it's more the bag full of eyes devil. Yeah, Injury Devil makes a lot more sense, actually, because everything she's done so far can be, like, lumped around the general idea of injuries. It is an injury to lose your eye. It's an injury to be destroyed, to be squished. This is also an injury. Because, like, it can't even be a squishing devil because of the eyes being removed, and because the eyes were completely whole. Zaku, that is incredible. I don't know how you would accomplish that, but I like the idea of a devil that changes based on wordplay. It's got some Echoes Act 3 vibes. That said, honestly, I don't know if I like her more than Power. It's more that, Makima is... How do I put this? Power is like a donut or a muffin. It always feels real weird to use the term donut when I'm dating someone named Donuts. What's a better term? Like a cheesecake. Like, Power is like cheesecake, but Makima is like a gourmet cheesecake. Boy, this is a bad analogy. What I mean to say, without any analogies, is that Power's great because you can have a lot of her, and she always chimes in whenever she can, and she can just be around and just do whatever she wants, and she's awesome, and she's amazing, and I love her. But Makima is incredible because we don't get to see her all the time. Like, it's because every time we see her, she is extremely impactful. Your necessary evil is just an excuse to justify your own crimes. Those excuses are unnecessary to society. The truly necessary evils are always kept colored and controlled by the states. I was saying before that was some societal commentary. This is the real societal commentary. Jeez. That is a thing to say in Shonen Jump. Okay. Oh, we are coming back to the villains. Or it feels weird to call them villains. To the associates of the Gun Devil. Okay. Afterward, you and I at least should be able to escape if I use a snake. It does seem like they've whittled themselves down to these two, a couple of other guys. Like, did we see anyone else last chapter? Not really. I think we saw like one or two other people, but then the vast majority of them were just the zombies. So is this just a case of release all the zombies in the division? Or in the building? Huh. Interesting panel layouts. Like, it's... Huh. Because also, we haven't seen Denji in quite a while. Not sure how I feel about this layout. I do like the parallel of, like, black hair, light hair, black hair. Like, that looks cool. And I imagine these are probably going to be the actual, fights that we're going to see. But, like, not my favorite Fujimoto paneling situation. I really do appreciate that in Chainsaw Man, the blander your design, the more powerful you are to an extent. Like, we've seen that with Makima, we've seen it with Aki, we've seen it with... Actually, I guess that's not totally the case, because, Sword Guy is extremely powerful, Denji's extremely powerful. I guess it's more that, the wildness of your design doesn't necessarily correlate to how powerful you are. We've seen people with pretty bonkers designs that, were kind of just done in one. And at the same time, we've seen completely normal people who have been killed. We've seen normal people who have done really well. I guess it's just fair. It has this air of fairness to it. It doesn't matter if you look like a main character or not. You can still do stuff. Boy, oh boy. These are some good zombies. Is this one wearing overalls? What is happening? And this seems like a very sensei plan. There is no plan. All right. Actually, like, the divisions have been very whittled down, so I thought what we were going to get was, like, a mini arc of, okay, old Division 4 members meet all the new Division 4 members. Then they'd all meet up, they'd have, like, a barbecue or something. They'd immediately get some rivalries, some camaraderies, and then we'd have a big arc. But it seems like we're diving right into the big arc. Like, ideally, Power and Denji and Aki are all going to show up as the other members are also going into the building, or they're already there, which could be cool in its own rights. Like, if any of you have read Bleach, like, think about any of the big, like, arcs in Bleach where you have a ton of one-on-one fights. Except we've got Denji, and Denji's running up the, he's running up the building, and he's just kind of, like, jumping into fights. Or we see, like, members of the, the old 4th Division just encountering other one-on-one fights and then helping out. And then, like, through that, we can meet all these new people. That'd be pretty cool. And then we wouldn't even have to meet everyone. It could be a situation where, like, they only go up this part of the building, but then on the sides there are other fights happening. And those are the characters that we'll see, like, way later on. Like, 4th Division is going to be pretty enormous at this point. They could stretch it out quite a bit if they want to, like, maintain a steady flow of new, cool characters that may or may not be killed very quickly. What if she's contracted every devil? I mean, possible. I don't think that's the case. I feel like because she's so normie, I think it would be, like, less cool if she was contracted to a ton of different devils. If I had to, like, maintain a guess as to, like, the general nature of her powers, I'm gonna say either she's a normal person who is contracted to one very interesting devil, like a devil that is giving her a wide array of powers in exchange for something very important. Or she's a devil who is contracted to another devil, and so she's using two different abilities at the same time. Like, I don't think she's a fiend. I feel like that'd be, like, it'd be kind of cheap almost to say that, like, the fact that she is human is part of what makes her so exciting. So, like, I'd like a full betrayal of, oh, she was never a human at all. She's always been a devil. Or alternatively, she is a human, but she's really, really good. I wouldn't want them to go halfway and say that she's a fiend. And also, I just like the idea of a devil that's contracted another devil, both in terms of, like, being a cool concept, and also in terms of, like, the power interactions there. Of, like, if she is just a straight up devil, like, what are the limitations on her power? Like, what can she do without a contract? What can she do just by herself? And then on top of that, how does that interact with a different power? Ooh, what if she's the human devil? That would be pretty dope. Like, I don't know if we'd be able to pull that out right now. Like, the fact that she's always hungry is, a potential hint that she's just a devil in general. That, instead of contracting with other people in order to get food, she's just acting like a human being would in order to get food. Like, she just has a job and she buys food. Ah, and that would also explain how, like, she alone can be a devil that contracts other devils because humans contract with devils. Like, that'd be super duper cool. I'd be dope into it. I'm just spouting catchphrases at this point. I need to move on. So overall, good Chainsaw Man chapter. Where would that go? Oh, I should probably put this in the center so you can actually read it. Oh boy, I forgot to put We Never Learn on. It wasn't a great chapter. I'll put it below the Last Saiyuki. Right now, Act Dodge is in the lead, then the Last Saiyuki, We Never Learn, and Black Clover was not good. If you've read any of the like super short Horikoshi chapters of My Hero Academia, the ones where it's like half a chapter basically, that's kind of what happened here, except it wasn't even paced like a normal chapter, but shorter. It was just like, it felt like half a chapter. Not great. I hope that nothing bad's happening with Yuki Tabata, but it did not lead to a great chapter. I'll put this... I think this was better than Act Dodge, so I'll keep it there. Alright, so let's... by the way, I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Fken or is it Fuken? For the comedy, I'm probably gonna say Fuken, but, I mean, when I'm actually properly reading it, I'll figure it out. That said, I do think Black Clover is pretty good, but I'll get into that later. Like, during the author comments, not during the actual chapters. It's fucking. Okay, good to know. Next is The Promised Neverland. Oh boy. By the way, with Chrome, whenever I download something, I get like the download bar, it screws up all of the chapters. So, look forward to that. It's an easy fix, but still. Oh, whoops. The Promised Neverland, Chapter 145, Respective Reasons. Alright, so, I mean, what else is going down, really? They have to hurry to the Imperial Capital, we know that, but, like, they've got Sonjun Mujika, Emma's already made the promise. What else is there? Okay, our deadline is until Norman kills all... Why is that bolded? I would have just done, like, either kills or all bolded. Anyways, yeah. Sure. Yeah, like, I appreciate, destroying the rich from a societal perspective. Like, they're the ones oppressing everyone. They're the reasons why you can't just, like, spread the royal blood everywhere, or the evil blood. But at the same time, like, it's you can't really negotiate with an angry mob. Plus, they could just, choose one of them, like, the what are they called again? The Gnome Clan. Like, Lady Gnome seems pretty reasonable. I feel like if you killed everyone except for Lady Gnome, she'd be willing to hear you out a bit. Okay. Right. So I guess it's just a race of not even get to the capital, just get to where Norman is. Like, if they're still getting there, then that would be ideal. Okay, Zaku, just tell me, which Voltaire song did you get stuck in your head this time? Also, I mean, if this is the climax of the final arc, even then, I don't know if I'd call this, the ending. Just because the final arc itself has been very atypical, for a final arc in a shonen series. I would guess that we have 20 chapters. That said, if we only have 10 chapters left and you called it, then you have bragging rights, for sure. Oh, right. You made the reference already, so I thought you're over it. But okay. Like, I could see the series continuing in the human world in the same way that so many people surprisingly said, like, oh, like the Promised Neverland, when they left Gracefield, a lot of people were like, oh, I guess that's it, right? Like, that's it. That's the series. That's the point of the series. They did the point of the series. Now it's done. Like, I could see that being a similar thing of everyone assumes when they get to the human world it's over, but they could still be in the human worlds. I don't think we'd have a full arc of it. But like, there's still stuff that could be said about, how the humans would be upset. I have maintained that the humans most likely have something from this deal, like in addition to the stuff we've already seen in the in the devil world, demon worlds. I've always maintained that the humans have to have something that most likely would have been broken by, losing the promise. Like, apart from just, peace. So, maybe, like, even if it's just, trade with the demon world or something. Because we do know, like, books and stuff are coming from the human worlds to the farms. So, like, are those all donations? Is there some sort of actual trade going on? I feel like there's something to be said there. It's just, I wouldn't want them to do a whole arc about how now the kids are enemies of all humans in the human worlds. Like, that would feel so undeserved. Even if it'd be cool, I wouldn't enjoy it thematically. But I could still see it, like, an arc of stopping the war, and then an arc of like carrying out this plan, the big reveal of what exactly the promise is. I think right now it's Emma's going to stay behind, so it might just be Emma saying, "All right, guys, well, I said no one, no sacrifices, no one gets left behind, but I lied. Like that's my one concession." And then everyone goes to the human world. Oh, actually, if they do that, I could see an epilogue of like the kids then trying to figure out how to save Emma. Or even like Emma, communicating with them and saying like, "Hey, I don't want to be saved. I'm having a great time in the demon worlds. I've got a demon husband. I married Luvis." Okay. Wait. That's only 2.5 days until the Tefari. Oh, oof, oof. Okay, so they can't do it then. Huh. Uh, hmm. I mean, homie, the humans, it's not just that the humans got the safety of not being hunted by demons. Because, like, if you read that first chapter where they talk about it, the demons also mention that they were being hunted to extinction by the humans. Or not hunted to extinction, but they were taking heavy losses. So it's even on both sides. Like, the humans got safety from being hunted by demons, the demons also got safety from being hunted by humans. Like, even though we just recently got the flashback of, the humans saying, like, oh god, it sucks, I can't believe we're being, slaughtered day after day after day. Like, the demons were also suffering losses. Like, it was ideal to stop the killing on both sides. So I wouldn't say that's part of the contracts. Okay. Oh, what is her name? The thing that freaked me out is that we saw her head, and I was like, all right, so what's she going to say? Like, what's she going to do? Instead, we saw a horse immediately. My first thought was, is she on the horse? Wait, no, that's But if she's on the horse, where is she? I saw her down here. That was deeply confusing for a moment. Also, that's a freaky looking horse over here. Like, that expression is worrisome. Oh, that's pretty cool though. Also, Oliver looks incredibly good on a horse. But I guess that's true. Like, they never would have accounted for having horses. Like, all their planning thus far has been based around the idea of them just being on foot, because why wouldn't they be on foot? Aww. Man, Gillian's face is not my favorite, but she is pretty cute, and this is a fun expression. Her eyes are freaking me out a little bit, but I do like the expression here. Does that just say horse on it? Okay, the four of us and these 4 horses will take you to the Imperial capital. Okay. I mean, I was gonna say, like, shouldn't they bring more people? But I guess it comes down to just negotiation. Like, they're not gonna stop Norman based on military might, so may as well just send the 2 of them. Like, why not? This is a good squad pose, by the way. Like, we've got the main crew, we've got just Adams in the background, we've got the, where is it going, actually? It doesn't have a note on it. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be delivering a note, but then it immediately flies away. Either way, it's a cool panel. Okay. Alright, all its plans. Vincent, that thing. So this has to be the stuff we saw before, which it was very unclear what it was doing. It was either mutating a rat into a demon and then killing it, or just killing a demon rat. I wasn't totally sure which. Like, there was a panel that made it look like it was normal rats, then a panel that made it look like it was a demon, and then it like died or was mutating. It was really unclear. I'm assuming based on that, they're probably going to try and gas the sites, because like going in with just Samurai Adams would be very foolish. But if it's something like they've already set up a bomb, or they have something that can like spread gas or something, like that'd be a good way of hitting a ton of demons all at once. And then it doesn't matter how powerful they are, like you can't not breathe. Or I mean, I guess you can hold your breath, but it comes down to just like, will they? Or will they just be surprised and take a deep, deep breath as the smoke, comes in? Yeah, you're most at risk and you think everything's going okay. Oh, I didn't even consider that. But I don't think that's the case. I feel like this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing to kill off the entire Imperial squad all at once. Like, why wouldn't he want to do it right now? Would that be the only reason why he's in a hurry? Where are we going with that, though? Like, is it as simple as what I just said? Okay. I mean, as much as I don't agree with their ideology, I find it very hard to not sympathize with them. In terms of being freedom fighters, there's the whole, terrorists are just freedom fighters for the other side thing. And I do think that does play into this very well. Like, they are doing something horrible, but at the same time, I get it. I totally get it. I wouldn't do it in the same situation, but I'm also a strange person. I understand that's not the ideal. Like, if a normal person were in this situation, they'd be pretty split as well. Even if we meet our end here, you and the other farm children go to a new world and beyond. That's our earnest wish and hope. But no. And again, oh my gosh. Is this the exact phrasing that Emma used? I guess it wasn't shedding any blood. Yeah, at Gracefield, I mean. But it is a very similar sentiment of like, I won't let anyone die. We're all coming out of it alive. We're not sacrificing anyone for this. Whether he's lying or not is, who can tell? But I personally don't think he's lying. I think he is telling the truth as he believes it. He doesn't want to kill anyone here, or he doesn't want anyone to die. He wants everyone to come out of this okay. Alright, we're all free. Now is the time to end the 1,000 years of suffering. By the way, the atoms are a cool way of doing like big, not so detailed crowd shots while still not making them just generic. Like, they all physically look very similar, but you can still see some of them that, look a bit different. Like, you do have the bald one. You've got, there's one with a ponytail. There's one with, like, 2 pigtails. I'm not seeing them right now, but, like, it is a cool way to do the faceless crowd while still having them all be, people, in a way. They're not just, masked mooks or anything. They're just unmasked mooks that all look the same. Yeah. I mean, I do feel that's gotta be it. Like, I'm a big fan of fractals. Like fractals in storytelling, where the first arc is it's got this sentiment to it, and then that sentiment can be seen throughout the series, and then the entire series is in a way a big version of that original form. It's something that a lot of series, especially a lot of Western comics, have done to great effect, and I can feel that presence here. Like, a lot of the post Gracefield arcs have had hints of just the same vibe as Gracefield's, and you might be saying, isn't that just storytelling? And you're probably right. But there's something to that general structure of the same thing repeating itself, but it's just bigger this time around, that I really enjoy. So I definitely agree. I do feel like, like, I don't think it's going to be 1-to-1. I don't think we're going to have Emma clapping out a match that's being dropped on the ground, but I could see something similar. And even like my thing with the smoke, or like the gassing the part, or the Citadel, that could be like a form of the fire. As George Lucas would say, it rhymes. That's a good way of putting it. Oh, geez, what's going on with him? I don't 100% remember, but was he also taking the medicine? I thought it was just the rest of the rest of his compatriots that needed the medicine. But I guess this is just confirming that, at the very least, he's dying. And he's got the headaches. Like, he's definitely got the headaches. So whatever it was that happened there at Lambda, like, it happened to him too. He's also dependent. They're probably all going to die. Like, that would also just be a good way of having them be punished, quote unquote, without having them be killed. Like, just they only have so long to live. And even if they end up going to the human world as well, they're going to die. Like, there's no danger of just having a bunch of murderers there with everyone else. Could this Norman be a clone? I could see it. Like, that'd be a cool way of having Norman be dead while also being alive. Like, the Norman you knew is dead. And that could also be why he's, pushing himself so far. Like, he's not even a fake William Minerva. He's not just a fake James Rattree. He's also a fake Norman. That would be really cool. The main thing, though, is the tattoo. I guess if you want to say it, you could say that, while he was inside. No, we saw his tattoo while he was being, treated as a lab rat. Like, I feel like that'd be a bit too much to say that he was cloned, but then the demons also, tattooed his back. Or, tattooed him the exact same way to make him look identical. And, you could force something in about how, maybe that was the real Norman we saw then. Like, the one who interacted with Adam was the real Norman, and then he died, and then he was replaced by a clone, but that gets a bit too iffy. I don't know if that would be worth, if the impact you'd get from that would be worth the confusion and the weirdness of it. I think it's more just that he was experimented on. Like, maybe he's, hyper intelligent now, or something. Or maybe even, nothing was improved, but just he was experimented on. That's also a possibility, considering that they all seem to need the same exact medication. Like, they're not even using different medications. Okay, November 10th, 2047, the day of the Tefari. I accidentally triggered my my assistants for some reason. I don't know. I didn't say anything that sounded like, okay, Google. So I don't know how that happens, but it did. All right, the nobles are all here. Everyone's partying in the streets. It looks like a fun time. Hey, they have pineapples. Who would have thought that we'd see a pineapple in the Promised Neverlands? I sure didn't. I love the impact of this, though. Like, we're not focusing on, we're not just here focusing on the chambers. We're focusing specifically on all the innocent demons here. Just the people in the capital, having fun, getting drinks. Like, he's thinking about all the innocents. He's comparing that to the fact that he's about to die, that his compatriots are going to die, and he's decided to harden his hearts. Like, let's begin. All right, bridge is down. We're going. We're doing it. And there is legitimately no way that Emma's going to be here in less than a day. Like, maybe the time's been shifted a bit. I could see that, but I feel like that's not the case. I feel like whatever's going on, Emma's going to show up as everyone's already dead, or something to that effect. Like, it's going to be bittersweet. Or it could be something where, they do the invasion, they have the weapon, but they haven't released it yet. And then we could have the big parallel of Emma and Norman in, this big building. Norman's about to detonate the weapon. Maybe it's going to kill him as well. A big parallel to Ray with all the gasoline all over himself. I could see that. But oh boy, good chapter. Not one of my favorites, but solid. So, how would I rank that? It was definitely more of a bridging chapter, and I've never been a big fan of the Promised Neverland's bridge chapters. It's always been more of... I've always really liked, the big climactic ones, but these ones have always just been like, yeah, we need them, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. I did think it was very emotionally impactful. I feel like every time I'm getting really swayed to one side or the other, Kai Shirai knows when to say, all right, the audience is definitely more on Emma's side for now. Let's quickly show Norman's side a bit. Let's make them a bit more invested in, his compatriots. And it really does work. I do feel genuinely torn. I ultimately believe that Emma is right. I'm siding with her, but at the same time, if this were not fictional, if I were really there, if I were one of the Gracefield kids or one of the kids Norman saved, I legitimately have no idea which side I would be on. Most likely Norman's. God damn. So, I'm gonna stick that. Why is it still open? I guess below Actage, or below the Last Saiyuki. I think that works. What do we have next? Okay, One Piece. It's One Piece, then Fken. Fucking, however you would say it. So I guess let's do One Piece next. One Piece, chapter 951. Let's just put it in like that. I was gonna say that the chapter title was Stampede Dinner, but no, this is also a promotion for Stampede. I can't believe Stampede got 3 covers and a color page in this issue. That is nutso. God, Lucci really let himself go. What happened? What happened? Boy. This is an interesting dinner, too. Like, how would this have happened? Like, Oda does tend to have, like, you know, an unwritten story. Even if he doesn't say it, usually there's a reason why everything's happening. But, like, how would this group of people have come here to start eating? Oda on the force-feeding fetish. Is this force-feeding? It looks more... It looks like Luffy's trying to pull it out of his mouth. Gee, Bucky, why does your mom let you have 2 sausages? A lot of meat, a lot of chips. I mean, what are those called again? Fries? Do fries exist in the world of One Piece? I know burgers do, but like, do fries exist? Okay, so what I think I can glean from this is we've got 2 groups essentially. We've got, you know, the pirate boys. You know, Law knows Luffy, Sabo knows Luffy. They probably came on their own. They probably have like a table to themselves, sort of. I guess they're all at one table though, which really complicates things. And then you have the vaguely Marina Lines duo or quartets, which even that makes sense. Like, you have a member of CP9, you have Smoker, and then you have 2 members of the Warlords. So clearly, Hancock came because she likes Luffy. Smoker came because he kind of likes Luffy. Lucci came because he's super fat now for some reason. I mean, I guess this might be his wide form that we saw before. It's just because we can't see his belly. I guess that's what's giving you the mental image of him being super bulky in the stomach as well. But I guess it is just his shoulders we're seeing. And then, even then, I can't imagine these 4 deciding, hey, let's go to this place for dinner. Let's go together. What a strange bunch of people. I know they're here because they're all important in Stampede, but still. Oh my, Zaku, how filthy. Okay, let's move forward. I could be there for quite a while. Ooh, chapter 951, Rampage. Okay. Also, a synonym for Stampede. Like, I doubt there's going to be any real Stampede connection here, but maybe. I mean, Strong World had a connection in one of those chapters, like, in addition to the Chapter 0 chapter. I believe they did also just straight up mention Shiki in one of the chapters. Huh. Just Trafalgar Man. Okay, right. In the pirating world, betrayal never goes out of style. Is that a thing this man would say? He seems very traditional in his speech pattern. Is this... that feels a bit weird. But okay, I guess Law's getting tortured. Huh. Oh yeah, they have... I don't remember how many ninja we saw before, but I guess I'm not going to count them. Like, I didn't do that in Whole Cake Island either. I have no idea how many there are. And I guess I'll remember the general details. Like, the guy with the giant, like, you know, lightning god sachet thing that was, like, going over his head. Like, that guy is done. He got beaten up. I mean, even then, like, none of them are dying, so they're all still around, I guess. I guess no one's not around. Wait, Tower of God just got an anime announcement? Really? Like an anime announcement? Really? That's pretty wild. I mean, I didn't think the day would come. I assumed that if it was going to get anything, it was probably going to get like a donghua, but not like, you know, a legit anime. Oh boy, we're getting some Wano wanted posters. Can't wait to see some of those in detail. But yeah, fair enough. Like, it's not the best because they're all locked up, but in the same way, that means that all they really need to do to get all those supporters out is a prison break. Like, they've all been assembled. Plus, they're all being fed to some extent. Like, not very well, but they're still being fed. Like, hey, it's it's a tactical power. Oh, that's pretty dope. Tower of God again, not the chapter. Not that the chapter isn't dope. Just from what I've read of Tower of God, it seems pretty exciting. I'm gonna get back to it eventually, but I don't even think I have it on the channel right now because I don't want to give anyone false hope. It's gonna be a while. Okay. You think Lord Orochi's gonna admit he made a mistake? Oh man, so yeah, I guess that makes sense though. Like, Yasuo's sacrifice wasn't that important in the grand scheme of things. Like, it was important on a thematic scale, but in terms of like letting everyone go like he intended, that did not actually happen. Huh, that's actually really interesting. Like, it means that his spirit will still be there. Like, he didn't die for nothing. He did rile everyone up, but it didn't accomplish what he set out to do, which is very I guess it's not on One Piece. We do have a lot of sacrifices in One Piece that don't accomplish the thing that they're meant to do in the moment, but then overall they get the job done. So I guess it is pretty classic in that sense. Skyboats. Ah. Oh boy, that sounds like that's going to be important. Like, there's been a lot of dead people so far. It's a time when our wishes and feelings reach them more than ever. Oh boy. Honestly, that's not bad. I thought these were going to be a lot more comedic, but like Polar Bear, I don't remember what he looks like, to be honest. He has the polar bear thing on his head, right? Or does he also have ears? He's one of Law's men, but I don't remember Law's crew like at all. I just remember the polar bear was one of them. Shinobi were doing the gag of everyone thinks she's sexy when she isn't. And then honestly, I thought Sanji's was going to be way more out there, like as part of his general gag, but this is really quite accurate. Like, if you compare this hair to this hair, like up here, it's basically exactly the same. It's just slightly different because of the style difference. And like, they got his eyebrow right, his eye looks fine, and like his expression looks upset, which is fine because he's on a wanted poster. That's not bad at all. I mean, props to whoever whoever in universe is drawing those. They're doing a good job. Okay, they escaped, but we got the ... escaped. So maybe they didn't. But then how did they get out? Also, this is Polar Bear, right? Or no, this is Penguin. Who's Polar Bear then? They added 2 more lines to the snake. Oh, okay, I see them. One of them's here, one of them's there. What are the lines meant to be? I can't even make a dong joke, because, like, it's not 2 snakes. And it's not just, like, 1 line. It's 2 lines. I don't know what that means. I assumed this was Penguin because he's got, like, a penguin head on him. Is that Polar Bear? Is that what he looks like? Gonna be honest, I don't remember what any of them look like. But I thought there was a guy named Penguin at the very least. Is that not him? Oh, well, I mean, Oh, wait, was that supposed to be Beppo? Okay, the face really got me here. Like, because they went for such a normal-looking human face here. Also, I thought Polar Bear was, like, the actual name of the person, as opposed to... I mean, I guess none of these are their actual names, but still. Listen, I don't remember the crew very well. I forgot that there was an actual Polar Bear on the crew. Guys. This is the full Thermite Kitty experience. How do I defend myself here? I don't think I can. I think I have to take these lumps and just go forward with this. This is something that'll just be a part of everyone's view of me in the future. But okay. I think I just made up a character named Polar Bear that had a Polar Bear hat on because I was trying to compare them to, like, Penguin and whatnot. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Let's move away from my shame. Now it's just the meaning of the code has changed, but the Wano people understood it. It was in Yasue's final message. Oh yeah, he did say some. What was the actual wording though? I remember not understanding it when he said it anyways, so I doubt I'd be able to decode it right now. If anything happens, we meet in Amigasa Village. Okay. Okay, so we are getting a flashback. So, I guess he must have traded his life for theirs. Yeah. Keep quiet about this. Don't tell Straw Hat and the others I've been caught. Oh boy, time to get saved by Luffy again. We're not seeing his corpse, but I guess they're all confirming the corpse. And he is crying. This could all be a ploy, though. I can't trust Oda. But that said, Yasue and Iyasu and Tonoyasu, like, none of those start with the letter P, which makes me think he's really dead. Ah, boy, please let him be dead. Please, please, please. I mean, it's gotta be. He's done this precise kind of death before, the martyr death. Like, this wasn't a I'm blowing myself up death. It was a, a big, larger-than-life martyr death, which is way closer to what he would usually do. It's like, he's gotta be dead. He's gotta be dead, right? Come on. Law really is the ultimate damsel in distress. Honestly, none of these are that bad. So this is Frankie, which, sure. Like, a little weird, but not that bad. Like, especially because, he's not, yeah, that's fine. Onami, that looks more like Robin than Nami, but it's still fine. This is Penguin. His name really was Penguin. Shachi is the one with the killer whale thing on his head. Who's this? I assume that's actually supposed to be Orobi, actually. We must examine you against these likenesses. Is this just a running goof in Wano now? Like, also, this is like the third time we've seen this, right? Because, like, we got the face before, then we got it. When did we get it again? It might have just been the One Piece podcast saying that it showed up in, like, a volume or something. But, like, boy, oh boy. They are fantastic faces. And these sketches are so good. Like, Usahachi's looks a lot like Usopp. Like, if you just showed that to a random person and said, hey, what One Piece character is this? They would say Usopp, easily. Yeah, these are, man, whoever's doing these in universe, they're great. How is the world government so bad at it? And the world government has cameras. They have cameras, yet they're so bad at it. I mean, I guess, to be fair, the Duval / Sanji one was hand-drawn, but all the others, even those, are not great pictures. I'm glad that that he's at the very least upset by that. It would have been weird if he did, the usual goof of, I'm keeping her warm, but I'm not warm. Like, that'd be a little insensitive. This works out a bit better. Why do these two have likeness on the side while Penguins has likeness at the bottom? That's super weird. Ooh, okay. Yeah, like, it's a ruined port with a bunch of ruined ships, but, like, they're still ships. And especially if they need to go to Onigashima for the final battle. Like, these are going to be super useful. And we still have the squid to look after. Like, there are a ton of squid, but that one specific one that dragged Luffy here, that dragged Big Mom's crew here, like, I feel like they're definitely going to play like some sort of importance here. I don't know what specifically, but they're going to be important. Also, damage. I actually do agree with that. Or, like, I get the logic behind that. Like, actual photographs can be, like, in terms of recognizing someone, a photograph can be bad sometimes. Like, you can sometimes just have a bad photo and a good photo. Whereas, like, a stylistic image based on, like, what people have said, like, sometimes you get that wrong. Sometimes you end up with a Duval. But sometimes, like, you get the parts of a person's visage, why did I say visage? Why was that the first thing that jumped to my mind? Like, you get the parts of their visage that stand out the most. So even if it is a little too exaggerated, in the same way, like, you can get enough of a picture to get, like, all the important parts without any, like, interference from lighting or whatnot. Like, even Nami's. Like, where's Nami's? Like, this one. That's a bad example. But, like, no, that's a bad example. Never mind. I was going to try and say something like, you'd be less distracted by her sexiness. Because she always tries to do a sexy pose whenever she's being caught on camera. But I feel like this is bad just because it doesn't really look like her. Never mind, my argument is shots. I ruined myself. Okay. I do appreciate this. That, like, he has been just, a bandit king for the last little bit, but he's also been doing good work. Plus, I doubt he'd be able to get all these ships if he hadn't been a bandit. Like, if he hadn't been, like, getting some sort of a paycheck. If he hadn't been making money. Like, he was just practical. Yeah, it's all coming together. Ooh, Onigashima looks so cool! They all look so traumatized. These are just Odango, too. Like, they're not even what she wanted. I mean, yeah, honestly, like, if you're gonna put her anywhere, you may as well put her here. At the very least, like, it is the base of operations, but it's also an island. So, like, I mean, I guess she doesn't have Zeus right now, but she does have Prometheus. I mean, I guess we haven't seen Prometheus since, so we don't know if she has him. But even then, it seems like she could fly on both of them, so she could probably also fly Napoleon if she really wanted to. It doesn't seem like the homies really have hard and fast rules. Okay. I thought she was just gonna, like, make an offer in general about, the state of things, like, let me go or something. But no, she's trying to recruit King. There's still 3 races I don't have in my country yet. One of them might have been lost to the mist of time, but you're still alive. So either she's saying, like, one of them is the giants. We know she doesn't have any giants. One of them would, like, that's the big question. Is she saying one of them is completely gone and then the third is whatever King is? Or is she saying one of them is completely gone except for King? Like, they've been lost, but you are the closest thing I can get to that race. Maybe. Huh, that's interesting. Because, like, he's got the giant wings, but they're black wings, too. Like, he could be one of the 3 angel races, like, the Shandians, the, whatever Enel was, the Skypians. Like, there are 3 different races that all have wings. And then on top of that, we have other people with wings, like, Hannibal and the jailer of Impel Down, like, the proper jailer. Like, they have demon wings, though, whereas he has, like, black angel wings. I wonder... It really comes down to, like, which 3 races does she not have? Did we see any Shandians or anything on Whole Cake Island? Because I feel like they would all kind of count for 1 race, probably. But I guess not. Yeah, it's incredible material. This is a perfect page for, like, just straight-up theory crafting. I'm excited to see what other people have said about it, because, like, I don't know that much about One Piece, honestly. I'm pretty bad, as you could tell from this chapter, so... I'm excited to see what Donut thinks of, actually. Like, he would know better than anyone else. Who's having this thought? Or, again, is this a thought or is this whispering? The last member of the Forgotten Race, the Gimp race. I feel like that's gotta be, like... Not that he's a gimp, but that, like, he must be some sort of very, like, standout race. Like, something where you could easily tell from his skin that he is, of that race. Like, from his skin and from his wings. And he's not hiding his wings because, A, he can't, B, he's content enough with Kaido that he knows, like, yeah, no one's gonna mess with me. But I think he must still be keeping up, like, he must be covering his skin anyways just because he's scared. Or because, he's worried. Like, oh man, that could totally add some depth to his character. Oh boy, we've got 2 emperors in the same room, and they're mad at each other. Boy, oh boy, what's gonna happen? He must have been joking. This man. Are you gonna defy 2 emperors at the same time? King's hair is fire. Oh yeah! I guess we haven't talked about that. Huh. I don't remember that from the... to be fair, I don't think we've seen him in the anime yet. I think we saw character designs, but even then, like, I guess the character designs wouldn't include the fire. Huh. That is interesting. And yeah, like, that's on his devil fruit. We saw his devil fruit already. That's not it. Interesting. In the anime, they gave him white wings. Boy, oh boy. Which does, like, make it a lot easier to think that maybe he's a Skypian or something. Oda, I don't understand what Oda's doing with colors anymore. Because, like, especially with this, like, it's such a distinctive, striking visual. Even if they said something like, he has red wings or something, I would get that from the darkness. Like, it shows that he's clearly not the same as, like, Arouge, or as, any of the Shandians. But if he just has white wings, then what's the purpose, Oda? What's the purpose? What's the point? Yeah, I mean, this is just what Oda does. In the same way that, like, Queen has, like, what was his mustache again? It was blue, I believe, right? It was blue? It was a color that is definitely not supposed to be portrayed as black. Oh no, it's blonde. Right, he's blonde. That's even more insane. Why, Oda? I don't ask for much, and I'm pretty okay when it comes to super wild choices for coloring. One of my only hard and fast rules in any medium is just, if you color something in a dark shade, it should be meant to be a dark shade. Like, with JoJo's, it's fine because there are no canon colors. But it's a problem with One Piece because One Piece does have canon colors. Like, there are colors that are just stuck to as, like, that is the color. Sometimes they shift around a little bit on cover pages and stuff, but in general, that's the color. Like, Zoro always has moss green hair. And that's just been a steady part of the series. And if you look at his hair, it's not, moss green and black and white, obviously, but it's, it looks in a way where you'd be like, okay, this is definitely a light color at the very least. If it looked like he had black hair in the same way that Luffy has black hair, that would bother me so much. Boy, oh boy. Maybe he's wearing a gimp suit over his wings, too. Honestly, I could see that. That'd be a really cool idea. What's with all this narration? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, they've never met her before. Sure, fine. I told you I'd kill you if you came here. What kind of idiot shows up to get killed? Oh, boy. The sky's been split. We haven't seen this in a long time. Since the Whitebeard War, I think. Like, since the Paramount War. Did it even happen in the Paramount War? Because before, it was definitely Ace versus Blackbeard. But I thought it happened again, like, sometime between now and then. I thought we saw it at least one other time. Oh, Shanks and Whitebeard. That's right. Okay, I was wrong, sorry. Yeah, that is... Oof. Actually, that actually changes things quite a bit, because that was also two warlords meeting. Like, is it just a show of their power, or is it something else? Like, is it hockey, or perhaps? I could see that being the case. Like, clearly it's meant to be a show of their power, but I could see it also just mechanically being something like, when two great hockey, conflicts, they cause, a big, like, splitting force to occur. Like, One Piece has been pretty good about showing stuff that's just, kind of cool, kind of rule of cool, and then showing off later on that, no, it's not the case. There is some explanation to it. Yeah, like, thematically, it works. I'll leave it at a thematic level for now. Boy, oh boy, I would not want to be here. This is not a good place to be. Onigashima might not exist after this, actually. I'd be fine if that were the case. Like, we've also seen some very long fights in One Piece. Or, like, not seen, but we've heard of extremely long fights. So it's completely possible that Big Mom and Kaido are just going to be fighting here up until, the final arc. I'd be fine with that. If it was just, well, Big Mom and Kaido are at Onigashima, I guess we can't fight them, and then Luffy says, no, I'm going to Onigashima. I'm gonna punch both of them. Big Mom is mad Kaido isn't paying Katakuri's child support. I'd buy it. I would buy it. Man, good chapter. In general, like, I've said time and time again, I don't like the chapters where they jump around a lot, but this was pretty good. Like, of the jumping around chapters, this felt like everything was impactful. I felt like I talked quite a bit for all of them, like, for every single part of it. It was exciting. We jumped around to a bunch of different things, but, like, none of them were meaningless, too. A lot of the time, I feel like we spend, like, a page or two on something that doesn't matter, but, like, all of these mattered. Like, even this, like, we had an extended sequence of this, like, this flashback was very short, but, like, it was couched in this general, like, hey, here's all the Law/Law's crew stuff going on right now. Yeah, I do agree. Like, I don't like the idea of the anime being used to fill in fights, just because, like, at the very least, I'd like to see some mention of, like, hey, this fight is happening. Look at it. It's cool. Like, here's a cool moment from it. Like, even if we don't see the whole thing. Also, I'm a bit worried about the anime. The more I think about, the epic feat of Zoro, slashing the house, being turned into Zoro fighting 40 dudes, like, that worries me a bit, because it's cool. And in the moment, I thought it was super cool. It took me until I talked to Dylan to Donuts for me to realize, like, oh yeah, that's weird. Like, that changes fundamentally the point of that part of the arc. If instead of just, slicing the house and then walking away, Zoro instead fought 40 guys. Like, I'm afraid that the anime might make it too good, which is something I have not been afraid of with the anime ever. Like, not in 900 episodes have I ever been like, oh no, what if the anime is too good? But now I'm kind of worried about that. Like, what if in, let's just choose a scene. A scene with some sort of conflict, at the very least. Honestly, maybe with this one. What if, prior to coming in, we get a scene where Law just fights 40 guys? And then he gets captured. Like, that would fundamentally change the scene, because it wouldn't be him turning himself in. It would be him, like, saying he'd turn himself in, and then fighting 40 guys, and then being subdued, and then turning himself in. I do absolutely agree, by the way. Like, One Piece is, especially now, I fundamentally believe that pre-time skip One Piece is better than post-time skip One Piece. Or rather, it is the series that I would prefer to read, as opposed to post-time skip One Piece. I do think post-time skip is a lot better in the manga, but even then, it still carries some of the problems I've had with it. Like, Whole Cake Island is a lot better than it was week to week. I really enjoyed my last read-through of it. But at the same time, I still felt those pacing problems. I was still thinking at times, like, I like this plotline. I know how it turns out. I'm really hyped to see, the big Sanji moments, but why are we getting like, a small drip feed of Sanji throughout these, 50 chapters? Why can't we just get a couple of chapters of Sanji and then have it be done with? Oh, hey, Richard. Boy, oh boy, my streams are probably going to come to an end. Not to an end, but they're going to be pushed back a bit more. I'm getting, once I start my job, it will finish, my shifts end at 2, so I should be able to come home and then record, around now. So they'll still continue. It really depends on how tired I am after work. Anyways, with that, I think I've said all I needed to say. I did not rank One Piece. I did rank the Promised Neverland. Okay, still on point with that. I'm pretty split when it comes to One Piece arts. I think the styles are different. I like the cleanness in a lot of the new style, but at the same time, I feel like it's gotten less squishy. It's gotten less cartoony. And the same thing goes with the anime. Like, the anime is very clean now. Especially, again, find that episode they did relatively recently where they just do episode 1 again, and then watch the original episode 1. It is so different in terms of just the art style. And it's so much more crisp and, lifeless almost. It still has that One Piece cartooniness, but it has less, off-model quality to it, which makes it feel less organic. It makes it feel less, classic. And I wouldn't say that One Piece is less off-model a lot of the time, but I guess I would say that. The goofy moments feel much more structured, which is, I could take it or leave it. And then all the women look like Nami, it is what it is. I'll put this below the Last Saiyuki. Or, no, below the Promised Neverland. I liked this chapter. I don't know. I guess I'll put it above. I think I liked it more than Promised Neverland. Yeah. I will say, Oda did say once that he's changed the art style to better, work internationally, but he definitely hasn't made it better to read on, a phone. I have been thinking about that a lot more, the fact that people are reading manga more so on their phones now. And One Punch Man, Murata specifically designs One Punch Man so that it can be read very easily on phones. I think, it's not that every series needs to do that. I'm a big fan of series that, do more inventive things. And I guess it's more just, I think One Piece is not great to read on a phone. It's also not great to read digitally. It's also not that great to read physically. It's got weaknesses in all of those. Whereas, I'd much rather have a series like One Punch Man, where I do feel the big panels kind of make it it makes it feel a bit insubstantial when you read it physically. I recently went through a volume at my local chapters, and I walked away from it going this is good, but I probably wouldn't be. I'm not picking up One Punch Man right now. I probably wouldn't start just because, the chapters fly by really quickly. But at the same time, I appreciate it. It's doing a certain thing, and in that certain thing, I think it's doing it extremely well. I feel like One Piece has kind of hit this worst of all worlds situation. Anyways, oh boy. Okay, Pills for Hero 1, go pay your phone bill. I will meet you in the future. But for now, let's jump over to... Fucking... Boy, what is the... How do you pronounce this? I don't know anything about fucking, by the way. Like, I don't know who drew this. I don't know what it's about. I don't even know what the cover, because, like, there is a tiny little thumbnail they used for the first chapter, but I literally just made a tab and then looked away. So, could not say anything. Oh, our Kendo Club. So it's probably short for F something Kendo. Is it actually fucking? We were all good and honest, yet now my teammates have been transformed. What in the world is this? Transformed by a demonic girl with a perfect face and body. By Yusei Matsui? Wait, by the Assassination Classroom guy? Really? Really? This doesn't look like his art at all. Like, I've read, Nero. Like, Nero was the first thing I ever read of his. I also read Assassination Classroom. If any of you haven't seen him, by the way, I have, like, reacted to all of Assassination Classroom. You can find that on the Full Thermite Kitty Experience. Please check that out. It's free. It's just an archive. Those are some, like, I spent a lot of time on those reactions. But, oh my god. Okay, so... what are all of these meanings? I do like the idea of them all being, you know, like, it means a bunch of different things. So, fetishism, fixer, female, fighter, fury, F-cup, fox, and then, phase? What's a phase? Oh, false. Also, like, if it helps, I saw this before I read the comments. Like, I am living a few seconds in the future from you guys. Man, this art is so good, though. Like, I love how demonic and goofy they look at the same time. This is the kind of thing that I associate so well with, like, 90s series. You know, like, the kinds of series that would get, like, a real bad scanlation and then never show up again. Oh, and they're all blushing, too. And it's not even, like, super realistic blushing. It's the standard, like, you know, line blushing. That is the coolest thing. Or, it's not the coolest, but, like, I love the contrast. It's that contrast between the super detailed faces and the very simple blush. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. I love it. Okay, wrists. What was that kote? I couldn't even see it. So, is it... I mean, first of all, this is such a lewd concept. Like, it's not even just, you know, it's the seductress. But, like, he brought up the terms fetishism, you know, fury, F-cup, fox, false... Like, is it just they're so horny that they have to fight? Also, I guess that means that fucking is actually, or, you know, fucking, like, that is actually how you're supposed to pronounce it. That is an incredibly good pun. Like, I'm genuinely wondering, did Matsui-sensei come up with the pun before he wrote the series? Did he just come up with the name and then decide, how do I make this work as a series? Because it's so good. I've never loved a name more. Here you go, it's my kote. Just the rest. Also, the contrast here is so good. Like, I'm a big fan of, like, contrasting, like, you know, death metal growls with very, like, angelic female or male voices. In the same way, I really like art where it's, you know, a very clean, angelic face and then a very demonic-looking face. And even this, like, you have the combination of, he's very ugly-looking, but he's also, like, very, what's the term? Not pure. But he's very, like, straightforward in what he wants here. Whereas she looks very angelic, but she's also got very glassy eyes. Like, she's very clearly using him. This is art. Oh, and her arm isn't even coming from, like, the same panel. It's coming from a different panel. Oh my gosh. This is true art. Oh, it's so lewd. How in the world are you supposed to watch this? This does actually really... Yeah, because he has a hand fetish. This reminds me so much of this theory I had when I was in high school that I still vaguely believe in, but I've understood the problems with it quite a lot in my adulthood. It was this idea that everyone in the world, like, every job should be fulfilled by, like, a super niche fetishist. The idea being that if it's someone who is super duper into, like, doing garbage, you know, like collecting garbage, for instance, they'll be the best at it because they're being completely fulfilled by it. Or in the same way, like, Your dentist should be someone who's super into doing dentistry. Fighters should all be super into it. This did break down once I thought about preschools and whatnot. Like, that's a big roadblock. There's definitely a lot of places where that logic should not work, and I've understood that because I've talked to a lot of people about this concept. I've had a lot of holes poked into it, but I like this concept as a manga. I relate very deeply to the core idea of this one shot. Also, I kept on calling it a series because I do want this to be a series. I feel like this could be an outright series. Like, this is such a cool power system. Like, even if it wasn't just about kendo, if it was just a general fighting series, that'd be pretty awesome in its own way. It's like he awakened to it after seeing her hair, and now he aims to destroy the men, right? Toriumi with neck fetish aims for the throats. God, this is so good. The power and speed at which the four members aim at their beloved body parts are much greater compared to last month. How devilish. How truly devilish. And it's not even like an outright good thing. Like, they're so ferocious that sometimes they just lose because they're doing too well. Or not that they're doing too well, but, you know, they're going after it too hard. Aims to destroy the men. That's Tumblr for you. That's a good one. So what is his fetish? Like, it seems like, you know, because he's the narrator, he's going to be, you know, the boy who either doesn't have a fetish or he has a very powerful one, but it's, you know, the most normie of all, / it's the most hidden of all, it might be the most lewd of all. But it seems like right now, he doesn't even have to use it because his teammates are so over the top into it. Yeah, I'd agree. As much as I have outright just said that this is the kind of world I want to create, that, you know, if I had the power to reshape the world in my image, it would be like this. At the same time, I do agree, this is evil. This isn't okay. This is not what kendo is supposed to be like. How is this running and jump? Like, Jump's done some pretty lewd stuff, but this feels way too lewd. Like, it's an entire one-shot based around just a straight-up lewd concept. It's not even trying to couch it, or it's not even an innuendo. It's just outright fetishism. Man. This gets me on levels that I don't want to admit out loud. I don't know if some of these levels are legal. I'm recharging their fetishes. Yeah. That's the way of fetish kendo, after all. Yeah, although I do think that actually works with this. Like, the character designs are very toned down, but that makes it more powerful. Like, it's the you know, it's the Aki / Makima thing of the designs aren't super over the top, but that's what makes them more over the top. Because, you know, I mean, you know, the actual boys are all very over the top in terms of their faces, and then our main male and female characters are very normie, but that belies their true intentions. The girl is, like, very clearly, obviously a devil inside, and the boy, I feel like he's got to be a devil inside as well. Though if he is just, you know, the normal guy here, that'd be cool in its own rights. This is 10 out of 10 sexual. I can't deny this. Even if there is a girl here, it's so extremely sexual. There's no getting around it. I can't even pretend to do it for a gag. Oh, here's the normie designs. I'm glad we have to see them at least for a little bit. I only know about kendo from how-to manuals. I wonder if this is her MO, though. Like, if she's not just about kendo, but, like, you know, she just does this to all sorts of people. Because, again, that's a cool power. Or that's a cool, like, modus operandi. The members would be taken to her one-on-one practices and come out hysterical. All I did was bring out their fetishes. I mean, there's really no getting around it. It is 110% a series about fetishes. Like, she's even defining it. I was wondering for a moment if, like, maybe in Japanese it wasn't quite as direct, and then the translator is the one making it direct, but no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. This is 100% a guide to fetishes. Maybe you like his hair more. No? Then go crush him and prove it to me. God. I can, yeah, I can see that. Like, it is, I mean, it is legitimately what the principal used to do all the time. Like, work people into an absolute frenzy until they are literally monsters. Except, he was somehow more pure about it than this. Like, for all the things he did, even though, his teaching style was not the greatest, at the very least you could say it was because of education. Like, regardless of how you feel about it, like, there's some inherent level of nobility to the idea of education, even if you totally disagree with him. Whereas this is much less noble, no matter how you look at it. Make sure to go home and practice your swings. No thinking about anything else, okay? Focus on that one body part you strike. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, why is she here specifically? Slurping of other girls' boyfriends like noodles. That's an interesting analogy. She could win an election with all the political figures she has romantic relations with. Jeez. But honestly, like, even in Food Wars, I don't think I've ever seen this analogy of, like, using noodles to represent ties to other people. But that actually looks really cool. Like, it's goofy while at the same time being, like, actually very poignant. At this rate, we'll be eaten too. Love letters from the guys and thumbtacks for the girls. Gosh, there's such a deluge too. I wonder if we're going to try and, like, if we're going to end up feeling sympathy towards her. I don't know. I feel like she's so over the top that we can't. Right. I mean, this is legitimately not a kendo manga anymore. Like, it wasn't from the very start, but still, like, in terms of what he's trying to say, like, this isn't about kendo now. Now it's just about fetishes. The feeling of accomplishment from practice, the pure guidance of etiquette. We practiced harder than other schools because of that love. And yet, yeah, they didn't win. They didn't have anything motivating them forward. They didn't have that distinct drive. Honestly, evil Terahashi is a really good way of putting it, because also, she doesn't look that sexy. Like, she has moments where she's drawn to feel very sexy, but she isn't inherently a very sexy design. And to be fair, you can all roast me if she actually is meant to look extremely sexy, but from what I understand of heterosexuality, she doesn't look very sexy. She feels like Terahashi in that sense. Like, she looks very normie. I can do it by combining fetishes in the sword. I can sow the seed that is Ippon. I thought I fused, like, two of these words together, and I thought for a moment he called her a sow, but no. I do really love the way he keeps on referring to it as just Kendo is an evil way. It's evil. Because it is. It legitimately is, in a way where, like, without having to have, like, an evil aura or anything, it does feel very evil. And again, this is coming from someone who is all for a pro-fetish society. Okay. She totally looks down on the male gender. She should just live her manipulative life on her own. We don't need her evil ways. I wonder what these two panels are supposed to signify. Like, I'm super into these, because, like, they're always meant to signify two separate things. Like, and also, like, it creates a small amount of time. Like, you can tell that she pauses, and then there's a moment before she says, fine, whatever. But it should also be splitting her emotions. Like, usually that means she's splitting her emotions. So, like, I assume this is, like, this is, her eyes, this is her, what she's really feeling, and then this is her mouth saying something she doesn't really mean. I can definitely see that. Like, she has very sexy movements. Oh? Oh boy. God, I can't get over these character designs. Like, I looked at them, enjoyed them, then saw this, got freaked out, and then went back up, because they're so good. Ah. Okay, so this wasn't one that she, like, intentionally dag from. Like, she did turn him down. She did say, you have a girlfriend. And, I mean, that is true, yeah. Would a sweet girl tell someone to beat up another girl? There's clearly more to her than she's letting on. Okay. Oh, boy. So, it's gonna be he's gonna have to fight him in order to get the girl. But can his pure-hearted kendo do it, or will he have to be amped up by the power of fetishes? What could his fetish be? Like, he's so straightforward. That automatically brings to mind just, his fetish is being straightforward. Like, his fetish is law and order, maybe. But apart from that, like, there's nothing he's been fixated on. Or maybe it's kendo, actually. Maybe his fetish is kendo. Like, he just is turned on by kendo. Or maybe he's turned on by losing, and that's why he wants her to leave. He's saying exactly what he was saying a little while ago. I'll teach you both. The sword manipulated by an evil woman cannot defeat a just sword that protects the weak. And that is, on its face, what is happening. Is the moral here going to be, like, even fetish kendo isn't necessarily wrong? Because this is, a proud stance, and he feels like he's doing the right thing, but he's doing it, for the wrong reasons. He's doing it under the wrong circumstances. Oh my. Oh my. That is pretty dang lewd. Fetishes were originally only applied towards objects, but with the changing times, that's true. Like, I've definitely been, like, enjoying the fetish landscape as people find more and more fetishes that aren't an object as much as they are, like, a pose or a concept or, like, a thing that is being said out loud. Don't see. Feel with your instincts. Go deeper into the abyss of fetishism. Is this even... I mean, I guess it's supposed to be wrists, but it looks like it's just a magazine about hand-holding, which is, as we know, the lewdest of fetishes. Oh, boy. Okay, so... that wasn't even supposed to be him going like, we put in our time. No, he's accepted it. Like, no, I am evil. This is evil kendo. But is it? Like, again, that implies that he has been trained in the ways of fetish kendo. Like, his fetish has been used. So he has to be able to tap into it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be calling his kendo evil. I knew for a while now. Do you guys practice morning, night, and during breaks? Okay. And even there, like, she's not being a total goody two-shoes. She is saying outright, like, yeah, I'll manipulate him. Sure, don't worry about me. And it's also really cool that we have the antagonist here, but the morally correct person hitting a girl. Because I do feel he's fully justified from his point of view in doing that. I don't even think that's too much. It's just one blow. Just enough to knock the wind out of her. Oh, that's gonna be what tips him over. She really was earnestly trying to learn kendo. No matter how evil it is, she's put a lot of serious effort into getting us ready. No, how dare you! Don't you dare look down on fetishes! Oh boy, his aura's coming up! Here's the big thing, is it going to be fetish-based, though? Or is he going to still have righteous kendo? And the opponent has 4 conditions. 1, proper form. 2, clean hits. I mean, I wouldn't say he's morally justified overall, but I feel like from his perspective, like, I feel like it's not unjustified to hit a homewrecker once. I feel like if you do it repeatedly, that's a problem. Like, that's just, beating up someone. But I feel like, if someone steals your girlfriend, for instance, and then you slap them, I feel like that's completely justified. In the same way, he only hit her once in the stomach to, like, wind her. I feel like that's okay. It's not something I would probably go to as my initial point, but still. Is the resolve to take a life a part of kendo? Is that the thing you're supposed to do? What's this pressure? If I don't crush him, he might come back again. I have to finish him off now. To protect the demonic girl. Ooh, furries. Yeah, I guess so. I guess the threat is dangerous. Like, in the same way that if someone said, we'll do something to her once she's in the alleyway, like, I would still take that as being unforgivable. In the same way, I guess he is wrong. Never mind, I retract my previous statements. That is going a bit too far. Hey, okay, that's a really good impact, too. This reminds me a lot of the, the really cool Nagisa pages in Ass Class. Like, the ones where he has that, super cold, deadly feel to him. Also, this panel layout is just super interesting. Then, even after a strike, keep your heart in the battlefield. Don't loosen up. Until the death of the enemy is confirmed, do not falter for even a moment. Hold fast to the way of the fetish and sword. That's a powerful image. Mine is text. I don't know if I'd put that up, but I definitely keep this around. Just as a piece of art. I don't know if I'd put it anywhere. I don't know, actually. I retract that. I don't know if I would do anything with this. I do appreciate the panties on the head. That's a cool thing I just noticed. It feels like a uniquely Japanese thing to do the panties on the head and then have pigtails going through the leg holes. I've never seen any other nationality do that specific gag. I've seen panties on the head, in a lot of places, but not this specifically. Honestly, if the difference between Ass Class and FCAN is really just writing. Koro Sensei even has tentacles. They could have done it. It would have been such a tiny little jump. I mean, he even does canonically read a lot of porn. It's... Yusei Matsui was always 2 degrees away from doing this, so I'm glad he's doing it. I don't know if I want him to do it as a full series, but I would honestly rate it. This has been really good. Yep, that's it. He's gonna skedaddle. The power of his fetishes and pressure was too much. Okay, so he doesn't have any actual, strong fetishes. All of your fetishes are too weak and can't be used in a match. But to be righteous, your attachment to the proper way is stronger than anyone else's. Okay. So it was all part of her plan. There are 4 people that are all about their kinks, and then 1 person who is the straight man. But the fact that he is the straight man is what gives him power. Your proper way is to protect the beautiful manager that's in trouble, right? I mean, if this weren't outright, ongoing series, I feel like the end goal of the series would be to develop this from, outright just protecting someone to, outright fetishism. I've always hated this power that makes guys go crazy, but I saw your club's hard work. For the first time, I thought I could really be helpful to someone. You guys made me feel that I could be useful to people. I mean, and again, yeah, sure, it's part of the plan, but at the same time, I do think she's being serious about it. She has, the power to do anything. She could run for president and win, but she would much rather, she is very much Terahashi in that sense. She would rather use her power for something that is fulfilling. And even if it isn't pure, this is still more fulfilling than just walking around stealing boyfriends. Yeah, the Pilsner one. This is done by the guy who did Ass Class. And it is... If you haven't read this one-shot, I would recommend it. It depends on what you're like. If you're not into fetishes, probably not. This is definitely not a one-shot I would... Let me finish this, actually, before I start talking about it. I don't know if they can go back. Yeah, I don't know. They feel pretty broken. They feel extremely broken. Awakened fetishes... I thought this was the ending, which is why I started to go off tangents, but I'm glad that it isn't. What else do we have? Awakened fetishism can't be turned back that easily. If you want to erase it, you would have to create another fetish to override it. So, let's create a fetish for that champion's flag. Oh boy, let's get excited. Let's get excited in a way that Dr. Stone rarely ever gets to. I make so many lewd jokes about Jump, but this is absolutely the lewdest thing I've ever seen in Jump. I don't know how much more will be manipulated, but for the sake of Ippon, we'll give in. Aw, yeah, that's the end. By the way, I have read, I believe, 4 volumes of Yuuna and the Haunted Hot Springs, and I stick by what I said. I don't think Yuna's that lewd. It's basically just We Never Learn, but with more nudity. But I don't think there's a lot of lewd content in it. There is that one chapter with the turning into soap. That was extremely kinky, but like, most of the time, it's not that lewd. Whereas like, this was, without being explicit, extremely lewd. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I'd say DxD is similar in the sense that, like the strip power is similar. Like it's got that same concept of a main character. I guess it is like here the main character isn't kinky. In DxD, like the main character is extremely kinky and completely unashamed of it. I guess it's more that the girl here is extremely kinky and completely unashamed of it, or rather, she's completely fine with awakening other people's kinks. Honestly, I'd be so much more into DxD if we had more kinkiness in it. Like, each of the girls does have their own fetish, but you don't get to see it a lot. And especially with like the nobles, for instance, like they're interesting in a way, but at the same time, I feel like doms in general aren't that interesting because like they tend to be less wild than the subs. So, and even the subs, like they don't. I feel like there's like a lot of missed potential with even with Issei, and Issei gets a lot of development. Like I've only seen up to New, but still, like DxD, I feel like it's a little too shallow. Whereas I feel like if FKen was a major series, it would actually be really, really good, possibly better. Especially if it got extra lewd, but I don't think it would have to. If as long as Yusei Matsui could ride this line between explicit and not explicit, I think that would be extremely interesting in its own rights. Man, I cannot believe this rain and jump. Anyways, what is chat saying? I would not say that Chainsaw Man is the lewdest thing running in Jump, like this week especially, but in general even. Like, it's very grindhousey in its explicitness. I wouldn't say that it's like that lewd. Like, even with the groping and stuff, it's on the same level as like Yuuna. Like, let me grab some Yuuna. I mean, I'm already showing Weekly Show and Jump stuff. Why not just do boy, oh boy, I've got a lot of dojins here. Why do I have so many duplicates, actually? Why do I? Huh. Anyways, what was I doing? Oh yeah, dojins. Like, let's see some... what's a lewd chapter of Yuuna? I mean, I guess... Yeah, like... I'd say even that... I mean, that's just generally boobs out, though. Where... this one has the soap chapter, right? Where's the soap chapter? Is this the right volume? I might be completely out there now that I think about it. I mean, even this, I'd say, is more lewd than anything that's currently happened in Chainsaw Man. Like, it gets lewd, but it's not that extremely lewd. I mean, I do, but at the same time, I feel like my argument's not wrong, right? Like, I would say it's FKen number 1, then Yuuna number 2, and then number 3 would be... even Chainsaw Man feels weird as number 3, but I'd be willing to say it because there is, like, explicit... Well, even then, like, I don't think the explicitness is that lewd. I think it's more just, boobs are out, but that doesn't automatically make it lewd. Like, you wouldn't just go to National Geographic and be like, hey, boobs outs. Like, if I just go Nats Geo boobs outs, I doubt I'm getting anything actually lewd. Maybe I should have spelled it correctly. Yeah, like, the African tribe stuff. Like, none of this is that lewd, right? Saku, what are you... Also, I don't actually know how far behind I am now. I may have already won the arguments, but now I'm... Anyways. What is this? Anyways, I feel like we've gone down a rabbit hole I don't really want to deal with, so... Where were we? We were ranking FKen. Uh, I mean, honestly, I enjoyed it the most out of anything. It has that, that fresh one-shot advantage of being just super fresh, being something totally different. It doesn't have to follow up with anything else. It is just a whole thing that surprised me completely. And I can't even say, that there's a bias towards one-shots, because generally I don't put one-shots up as number one. I very rarely ever do that. The last time I did that, I think, was like Build King, maybe. But yeah, so, man, that's good. I guess the motivations are lewd. But even then, that comes down, there are other, shonen series where the characters have, dirty motivations. But, I wouldn't say that a lot of what Master Roshi in Dragon Ball does is lewd, for instance. It's dirty, but because of the way it's presented, it doesn't even feel that lewd, even if he is literally looking at, naked boobs and stuff. Anyways, I feel like I'm hitting peak thermites, and I need to stop that, so I'm going to drink some coffee while we move on to Dr. Stone, Z equals 116, Miracle in Hands. Oh no, Miracle in Hands. That in itself could be pretty lewd. Oh boy. By the way, I don't look forward to my audio after this. I'm pretty sure I was peaking it throughout FKen. I'm 2 fists away. That should be good. Let's do this. So we have the Infinite Revival Fluid Machine. By the way, if you want to keep on talking about lewd, that's fine. Just, don't spoil FKen beyond this point. I mean, how would this work? Oh, it's there. Okay, so I guess it's supposed to be... So the urine gets boiled up, it gets, condensed here. Up here we have... why is there a tube connecting both of these, though? Ammonia gas... Or no, this is where the gas is going. What is this? What is this doing? Huh. But it seems like, yeah, gas comes up here, or, it comes up here, goes through here, comes up here, reacts with the platinum, comes up here, goes in here, we get nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, boop. But then what's going on here? I guess this is just the nitrous oxide. Is that... Do you also get nitric oxide from urine? Directly? Okay, and also, this is to make nitric acid. Because, when they said they were making a machine that would make infinite miracle fluid, I thought what they meant was nitol. They need nitol in order to break anyone out. Though I guess, if they already have alcohol, if they already have farms and stuff, they spent a year making supplies, so they most likely have a ton of alcohol just, on the lab. So I guess that's not a big deal. What's important is just making the nitric acid, and then they can do the percentages themselves. Yeah, it's... I mean, I appreciate how Dr. Stone manages to make everything feel very, mythic. While at the same time, it's all very science-based. That's a really interesting line to walk. Because I feel like a lesser series would just hammer in, no, this isn't magic, this is science. But, Dr. Stone is comfortable enough with the trappings of mysticism to be able to say, yeah, this is a little like Final Fantasy or something. But, ultimately, it is science. There's something really cool about that. With this, humanity's revival is all but guaranteed. All that's left to do on this island is to fight for the petrification weapon and win. So I imagine they're going to make the nitol off screen. Next time, I guess they have to break out... who did they say they were going to get last time? I genuinely don't remember. I think it was Kaseki. Because they wanted to make the drones, right? And they were like, oh, well, we can't do it ourselves. I don't think they actually said his name, but I think they implied it was going to be Kaseki. Okay, Jig's up. I mean, Jig isn't quite up. He doesn't know who exactly the traitors are, but at the very least, he knows that, something's going on. Yeah, like they don't have enough of this to spare. It would make a lot more sense in terms of just the sheer numbers advantage to just sneak as many people as they can off the boat. It'd be obvious after a while, but like I guess if they get like a couple people, if they get like the power team plus maybe Risui, like what I'm thinking is they have this port right here that they're in. If they could get, Risui, if they could get, a skeleton crew, then they could take the ship and pilot it over to here. And then once the entire ship's gone, they don't have to worry about, being seen. Like, they've already blown their cover. That's fine. Now, the island's going to be swarming. At that point, they just have to break out as many people as they can. And then, start another war, I guess. That might not be super great. It might be better if... that's the main thing, though, because, like, as long as the ship is there, they're in danger. Like they could move the statues. They could like just take the ship. They could send the ship somewhere else. They could just let it go adrift. Like it's inherently dangerous. They have to handle the ship situation. Okay, if making enough of it to wage war is going to take months, we don't have that kind of time. Okay, so who are they getting first? Right, Kaseki. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Because, like, that's not even Kaseki being thrown in whole. Like, they smashed up all of the statues. That poses a problem. Because, like, it's just pieces, and they're scattered all across the ocean floor now, and, like, they've been smashed. Like, there are little bits and pieces that probably aren't being thrown in as well. Like, they're probably just some pieces that are just on the boat now. So if they get revived, they're going to be even more scarred up than they would be usually. Oh, jeez. And, like, I don't trust anyone besides Yuzuriha to put everyone together, but Yuzuriha is going to get smashed. He was most likely their leader. Okay, so they're stealing Risui, which is good and bad. Good in the sense that maybe they'll be able to bring him back. Bad in the sense that they're not, like, oh boy, and also they're not taking his hand with him. Oh no, they are. They grabbed his hands. Okay. Not sure why they did that, but sure. I'll buy it. I'm fine with that. We may have intruders among us, and said intruders must be dealt with. Oh boy. Okay, because they can't just grab the statue now. That'll blow their cover. They also can't let it be broken anymore. Like, Ryusui's not going to be able to work at all if he has that many, like, scars in him. I mean, I guess some cracks are okay, but if there's so many that, like, parts of his body can't, connect to each other properly, like... Oh, jeez, oh, jeez, oh, jeez. By the way, Eden Endless World is actually going to be one of my future series. It's just... I think I'm committing to just having slots at this point. Like, right now I've got a webcomic one that is just Dragon Ball Multiverse. I'll replace that with Tower to God once I'm done Multiverse. So on and so forth. Like, I feel like that'll be more manageable than doing, like, 8 series at once, the way I was doing it before. So, Eden's coming eventually. I think. Was Eden a Shueisha series? Did I disqualify it? I don't think I did. But yeah, like, I don't want to do what I was doing last year again. That was a bit irresponsible for anyone who actually liked one of those series that ended up on an indefinite hiatus. Oh boy. Okay. Huh. So what's the plan here? Like, clearly smashing it, like, huh. That is the greatest thing in the world. I am all for the cat face aura aura aura. Or, how do you pronounce the sound effects? I don't want to sound like an absolute weeb. I'd rather use the actual sound effect than just a JoJo sound effect. But man, I kind of want to isolate this. Like, it'd be pretty easy to do it. These are the only 2 parts that are, like, sticking out. I don't know how I would use this as, like, a reaction image or anything, but I don't know. I feel like I could find some use for this. This is good. I mean, I guess it is literally just wham, 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 wham. Oh, I see. Right, and the first break was, yeah, like, just the arm being snapped off, which isn't clean. Like, you can see it's jagged compared to... Yeah, like, even that's so smooth. It's a little jagged, but I mean, we can only do so much. Oh, that's really clever. However, that does mean that all the ones that were just normally smashed are going to be messed up quite a bit. Which, I mean, that's going to be a cool way to like give all the people here scars, like to give them all post time skip designs. Oh yeah, this might be a bit traumatic. Oh, where's? Oh yeah, their disguises look like mice too. That's such a weird visual. All these tiny robotic mice carting over parts of Yurisui. We're taking advantage of our pals getting petrified for Operation Chop Chop Escape. This is one of the most Senku things I've seen in a long time. Because it's so efficient, but it's also so demonic. It's so unnatural. It feels so wrong. The Nyan Wham. I like that a lot. Oh, I thought they just jumped right to reviving him. But okay, no. Yeah, it does sound like him. Well done breaking me into bits the way you did. Thanks to you all, I get the honor of being the first person to get revived twice. Aw, gosh, Suika, you're so cute. Alright. Here we go. Oh. That only happens with millennia-old statues where the outer cells undergo partial erosion and end up breaking away. Huh. Okay. And they specifically pointed out this scene where like he's got the big cracks around his fingers. Yeah, this one too. I guess, was it for both hands, or is this just one hand? I mean, no, it's got to be for both hands. Like, clearly the point of this, the reason why we're focusing on his hands so much in all these frames is to show that, yes, like, it is healing his hands. Like, if you were to stone someone who was already stoned before and then unstone them again, they would be fully healed. That's really interesting, because that means that now we have, like, healing pods, essentially. Like, it means that healing Tsukasa is much more viable now than what I thought. Where I still thought it might be 50-50, like, maybe reviving him isn't going to quite work. But, like, if it can even heal stuff that wasn't healed the first time around, then theoretically, like, if someone's really badly hurt, you could just, like, stone them, then revival fluid them, then stone them again, then revival fluid them, just, like, over and over and over again. Like, you can make an automated process that just does it again and again until you reach a desired level of heals. Yeah, he's been pretty iffy about it. But that also means that we can do post-time skip designs for some of our characters who have been scarred too. Like, I was thinking about it in the sense of just, everyone who's been broken can be scarred. This is both setting up that no, they won't be. But it also sets up that if, like, Senku, for instance, gets hurt really badly, then he could be frozen and then revived, and then he would lose the scars he currently has. Oh man, get excited. Plus, we have the people in the village who have those like very clearly ornate scars on them. Like the ones where it clearly looks like they've been etched in, like they look more like tattoos than anything else. Which implies that, if you do enough like intentional damage in a certain way, you can force the scars to appear. Which could also be really cool if a bunch of people decide to like be stoned and then have cosmetic scars applied. And I could see Dr. Stone doing like an entire chapter of just that, of just like tattoos acquired. Let's see all the new crazy tattoos that people from the village want to get. I do think the finger scars were super cool. Like, they were really distinctive too. I've seen some characters do that in a way, but I never saw them quite the way that Ryusui had them. Plus, they weren't like indicative of a superpower or anything. They were just more or less just, a thing that we saw a bunch of times when he was like, being greedy and when he was like doing the money thing or whatnot. I mean, I could see an arc in the future. Again, like, if they decide to go forward with the cosmetic scarring thing, we could just have Yurisui later on just decide, hey, I liked those, let's put them back on. But I'll add, like, a dollar sign or something, or a Drago sign to my arm. I'd be into it. Haha, thanks to you all, I get the honor of being the first person to get revived twice. Exact. They got it completely. Is that even the same pose? It's the same pose, but his fingers aren't, his fingers were the way they thought they were going to be. Which, again, shows that, yes, that wasn't an accident. It is very intentional that he doesn't have the scars anymore. Oh yeah, that is, homie. I'm real glad that you figured out what I was thinking before I even said it. Yeah, this entire time I thought he was doing the the I don't want to say what you just said. The money symbol. But yeah, he has been snapping his fingers, which is a little less. But he's doing it with two fingers. Who snaps their fingers with two fingers? Usually you do it like this, right? With like your index finger like put away. But he does it like this. It feels so much more like he's doing the whole. Anyways. I'm just digging a deeper and deeper hole for myself, aren't I? Maybe these streams are a bad idea. Which means. God, it's. Ryusui's so on the dot every single time. He really is the Tsukasa of capitalism. Like, in the same way that when they revived Tsukasa the last time, the first time, I mean, he immediately was like, hey, what's the situation? In the same way, I kind of hope that whatever happens, like, maybe we do get, like, this big split in the societies once more, and Senku has to revive, he has to stone and then revive Tsukasa. When that happens, I want Tsukasa to once again say, what's the situation? Although, if they don't, even if it's not like a super intense scene, it could just be a goofy one of, they do it on his birthday, and then he's like, hey, what's the situation? And Senku says, it's your birthday, there are candles in front of you, and blow them out. Anyways, that's Dr. Stone. That's a good chapter of Dr. Stone. Like, it was very straightforward. I feel like they really front-loaded all the science in one thing, and then they were like, alright, that's all the science you get. Everything else is just character stuff, which I'm fine with. I wonder, though, like, I mean, we do have him, he's got ocean currents. Just for the sake of, like, even if they don't revive everyone now, they have to at least spend a day or two, like, gathering everyone. Like, it would be extremely irresponsible, especially since they're all being smashed to pieces. It'd be so irresponsible to not at least gather them all and, even if you don't sort them out, at least have all the pieces there. Have all the pieces and pay special attention to Yuzuriha, so you can revive her and then have her begin the process of fixing everyone. But also, that does solve the problem I was just bringing up of, what if entire slivers of them are lost? Because theoretically, like, that would cause big gaping scars. But then all you'd have to do is stone them and then unstone them a couple times to heal those up. So, like, if you did have, like, an incredibly big scar, like something that's actually, like, the arm's barely hanging on, you'd still be able to fix it properly. Yeah. So I'm gonna put that as a... where would I put that? I can't say I liked it more than Chainsaw Man. This was a good Chainsaw Man chapter, but I don't think it was a unbelievably good Act Dodge chapter. And F-Ken, I don't know if anything's going to be able to dethrone F-Ken. I don't know. I feel like I might be overrating the Chainsaw Man chapter. It was very good, but it wasn't as solid as this chapter. Like, it didn't have any great highlights to it. Did they even retrieve Risui's hands? Did they? I know, like, Anubis Boy did actually grab it. If you see it, where was it? Like, when he was carting him off. Where was that? Here. Like, he's holding a hand. And I assumed that was Risui's. Also, wait a minute, what is this pose? Oh no, he's grabbing the other thing, yeah. So I assume they have all the pieces. Now, why exactly Anubis Boy brought the other hand, I don't know. Could not tell you why. But I believe that's supposed to be Ryusui's other hand. Did they attach it, though? So this is a left hand here. Which one is this one? Also a left hand. That's also his left hand. But he's snapping with the right hand. Okay, so they do have both of them. I mean, I could have seen it in the sense of, like, maybe they didn't have his hands. And theoretically, like, if we can do the stoning on stoning thing, then it's possible that they could revive him. His hand would just be, like, not even scarred over, but it would have, like, the stone crack scar stuff all over it. And then they could just, like, reattach the hand later on. Like, I could have seen that. I could have seen them like just giving him a hook hand for a little bit, but as far as I can tell, it's all good. It's all canon. It all makes logical sense. I don't think so. Like, I assume that they could completely know about a revival. The problem is that they wouldn't know that you can revive someone that's been smashed to pieces. Because, like, why would you assume that? Especially since most people that are smashed are like, their heads are, I guess their heads aren't removed, but like, like they get damaged to some extent. Would you not assume that they're going, if you revive them, they would just bleed out or something? And I do 100% believe that like the super higher ups do know about a revival, because I assume that's how their tattoos were made. Like this boy is like weird streaks coming from his eyes, like not his eyebrows, not his mustache. I believe those are just an eyebrow and a mustache. But like this line, I think is like etched into him. And we've seen that with the girl and with the guy. Like they both have like very clear like revival scars, but they don't seem to have been revived from the presence. I do think in general perhaps they don't know about it. They might think of it as just a straight up death sentence. But even then, like maybe they know that the master can revive people, he just refuses to, or he'll revive someone if you're very good or something like that. Because that would also make sense just from a logistical point of, we're lowly citizens. If someone gets stoned, there's no way they're getting unstoned. But perhaps if we're really good, then, they'll revive someone. It also makes sense just to be able to have hostages to let everyone know that, yes, the master can do anything. He can even, revive those who are destroyed, who were turned to stone. That's my thought process. Anyways, that is Dr. Stone. We have one last thing to read, which is My Hero Academia, number 238, Liberation. Oh boy, I have half an hour before I have to leave, so hopefully I can squeeze it in. I feel like I can. There's not a whole lot left to do. I say before I read something I'm probably going to go on 5 tangents over, maybe. I mean, we're finally done Shigaraki's flashbacks, so maybe this will be a bit breezier. Does he still have the bonus hand, though? The bonus hand on his back. Okay, got that full stress. He looks a little like Tokiyami when he's doing this. I'm not saying that Tokiyami's power is connected to Redestro, but, who knows? Maybe. I feel like they are, like, substantially different, though. Like, the stress being manifested is so liquidy, as opposed to Dark Shadow's, like, actual shadow. Though I guess it's not a shadow, like, it is a physical thing. No, it wasn't. Like, the bonus hand, I thought, was the one he had on the back of his head. Or, because the one on the front of his head has always been his dad. He's pulled it off and called it father multiple times. Though, wait a minute, did he have the mask hand on before? Like, last chapter? Because I thought we ended it with a shot of his face, like, completely exposed. We did. But, he was taking it off. Like, these sorts of things, too, all unnecessary. And then we jump forward to 238, and he's saying the same thing. Okay, so that is the dad hands. Oh boy, I'm not lined up properly. There we are. He's disintegrating the stress. Man, Shigaraki is extremely overpowered at this point. Like, now that he has that level of destruction and he can control it, that is insane. I mean, part of this, I assume, is like the stress itself exploding, maybe? If that's happening, that balances it out a bit more. But if this is all just the destruction, I guess it can't be. Like, it's not that everything's disintegrating, it's an explosion. Like, he activated the stress, or he released it. He liberated it, perhaps. Just got destroyed before you connect. It's no big deal. This pounding pulse, is it fear? No, not fear. I convert fear into power. Then why? Why am I feeling less stressed out? First of all, oh my god, is this a mecha? Detonauts patented burden-amplifying steel pressure mechanism, Claustro. First of all, cool. Second of all, how did they get a patent for this? Like, how did they create a device specifically saying that, yes, this is designed to increase the stress of the user, also they're giants? Like, how do you get that without saying this is for people with stress-related quirks? Or, the Hulk? Is it because Shigaraki, like, destroyed the stress? I also, like, because the chapter's liberation, it feels like Shigaraki, like, he's been liberated from his past, and now, is he going to liberate Rikia, for instance? Like, why do I keep saying the same thing over and over again in the wrong sentences? Like, what I'm thinking, essentially, is, he seems like he's hit this, like, villain nirvana, almost. Like, he's so relaxed now, whereas Rikia's freaking out. Like, what if by destroying the liquid stress, he's actually removing Rikia's actual stress? Whereas before, like, even if he splattered it against the ground, like, he wasn't destroying it. He was just temporarily taking it out of his body. Ah. Oh boy, we're at 150%. By the way, not my favorite mech design, but, like, it is cool. It's cool because it's a mech. Oh boy. Yeah, warp us or else Maki will tear us limb for limb. No, he's not going to. Like, the whole point of this is, you gotta fight Gigantomachia. Like, Gigantomachia isn't meant to be your savior here. The whole thing is that you're still fighting him. Ooh, right. That actually makes a lot of sense. Like, they are tracking League of Villains, so sure. I mean, I think it's also that he wants to train them, but that's a good excuse. Yeah, they did become rounder and less chaotic. I mean, Zaku, I don't think that they have to be unconnected. I think that, like, because the chapter is liberation, I think Shigaraki is liberating Rikia. And part of that is superpower based, sure. But I think part of it is also his ideology. Like, he just said, it's meant to liberate people, to see Destro's will fulfilled. But then we get this shot of him saying, like, hey, or not him, but him remembering all these people telling him, you've got to do this, which is the exact opposite of liberation. They were putting stress upon him. They were putting this weight on him. No wonder he's stressed all the time. He's been bearing this burden all the time. Like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if, instead of being killed, up until this point, I thought he was going to be killed, but what if he ends up, like, backing the League of Villains? What if Shigaraki just ends this by saying, hey, you don't have to be the CEO anymore. You don't have to be Destro, you don't have to carry on the will of Destro. I'm going to destroy the world. It seems like you also want to destroy the world. Let's destroy the world. Like, I could see that now. I could see that being the end goal of this, if the Meta Liberation Front itself gets liberated. Like, how much more liberated can you be than being a hobo? That's like peak liberation. Yeah, he needs to be pushed into a corner. Like, he's already doing so well, and he's just fighting Redestro. If he has to fight Redestro and Gigantomachia at the same time, I feel like, at this point, he might be able to beat Gigantomachia. Like, whether that's beat him to submission, or just make him accept that he is All For One's successor, or if he just straight up dusts him. Also very much a possibility. And yeah, like, the mech suit is, like, it is the literal manifestation of being stressed out, of being, like, being forced to stress over something. He is being constrained. And I feel like, oh my gosh, this is going to end with Shigaraki destroying the mech suit and then saying, you don't have to be, you don't have to carry this anymore. Maybe not something that cool. Maybe not something that compassionate. It might just be, he slaps the face, destroys the head, and then says, hey, get out. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Okay. Did he kill Dabi? I mean, I doubt he killed him. I mean, definitely not. We saw the flash forward. Or, no, we already did the flash forward, right? Yeah. Because we already talked about High End being taken out. So maybe Dabi's dead. I doubt it, though. I assume it's more just Dabi's immobilized. Like, it took a lot out of Geten, but he was able to do it. Just barely. And now he's finally back in the fights. Oh, I really love this now that I'm thinking about it in that sense. Like, the pieces were already there, but now it really is, someone who can't let go of All For One, who is, trying to find his successor, versus Redestro, a man who is shaped entirely by this giant, evil, national group, all, designed with the sole purpose of raising him in order to be his father, in order to be a successor. Like, they're parallels in such powerful ways, and in this specific sense, like, even though it doesn't make any real sense, the League of Villains aren't doing anything that has a coherent ideology. Despite all of that, they still have better motivations than the Meta Liberation Fronts. I mean, that's a bad way of putting it. It's not that their motivations are better, it's more that they can justify their motivations to themselves better. Redestro is doing all of this for very clear reasons, for very concrete, sensible reasons, but they're reasons that someone else put upon him. Whereas everyone fighting in the League of Villains are doing it because they want to, or because they have some ideology they want to, like, fight for. Even the ones that are fighting for Stain, quote unquote, even though that's not what the League of Villains is all about, like, they've made friends. They're fighting at the very least for their friends. There's something there. Whereas now I feel like Redestro is very hollow. He's just spouting off what other people taught him to say. I feel like that's got to be it. Like, Shigaraki's going to reveal that, yeah, he's completely worthy of being a successor to All for One, or like, he's a good person on his own terms, or not a good person. I keep on using the wrong terms for things. Like, he is worthy of, being the next symbol of evil at the very least. Whereas Redestro doesn't want to be the next Destro. Plus, he only has a an MLA codename, so I could see him just getting a new name from Shigaraki, where Shigaraki's like, or even Shigaraki might just say straight up, "Hey, choose your own name. I'm not choosing anything for you. If you want to follow me, follow me." I can see that so much now. Not suppression, but liberation. Naturally, people would seek to use their meta abilities freely. Past the pain, beyond this awakening, it's as if this man has been utterly liberated. Yes, what I'm feeling in my chest is ... Oh, and I brought it up before that his power is very not incredibly similar to Deku's, but like you can see a vague resemblance, and even has the percentages. He's even going plus ultra. Like, he's even got a costume that is like more of a legit costume than Shigaraki's at this point. Whereas like Shigaraki, he destroyed his costume. At this point, he's just wearing a coat. He's just a guy using his powers. Whereas Redestro went from being a like prim and proper businessman to looking like a supervillain. Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, so I feel like I've said all I needed to say. I feel like in any other reaction, this would be the moment where I'd then clue in, like, oh, from these lines, maybe Redestro is going to join Shigaraki, but I already feel that now. Or I could see him handling all the, like, unfun parts of a company. Like, I could see Rikia just deciding, like, hey, I'm good at being a CEO, I like it, but I'm gonna give up being Redestro. Like, the MLA is, like, not disbanded, but, like, all the stuff I've built up, that's all for League of Villains now. Do what you want. I'm done. I'm going to just be the Detonat guy now. I could see that. Like, I could see the League of Villains actually being sort of the, Hydra's a bad term to use here. But, something to that extent. Like, a sleeper cell, or not even a sleeper cell, but, just a group that is using the Detonat / the Meta Liberation Army's assets. They're not the Meta Liberation Army. The Meta Liberation Army may or may not still exist after this, but I could see them just, using that, web that's been created. Those people spread across Japan. Oh, man. What a good arc. I mean, not as good as the last couple chapters, but extremely good. I mean, it's good on a different level. This was much more thematic than the last 3 chapters. Like, the last 3 chapters have been focused mostly on Tenko and on Shigaraki. Or, I said before I was going to start calling him Tomura. I've been slipping very hard on that. But, like, I do feel like this is much better as in terms of being, like, a climax for this this mini-arc, almost. Like, the Meta Liberation Army mini-arc. The overall arc is still, My Villain Academia. And I feel like we're getting back to that, actually. Like, maybe Rikia is actually going to help him fight Gigantamakia. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, man. I could see it. Yeah. Except, even then, like, Evolto is much more powerful, much more motivated. He's doing his own thing. Like, he was, pulling a lot of strings. Whereas I don't think Shigaraki's the kind of guy who really pulls strings as much as he asks people to do things, or he just says, "Hey, I'm doing this," and then they do it. That or people move to support him. I think that's really cool because like part of the ethos of a villain is that you do what you want. Like you make your own paychecks. And in the same way, like heroes tend to be very reactive. They do stuff because something is happening, whereas villains just decide, like, am I going to go cause a scene, or am I going to set something up, or am I going to just do nothing? I feel like Shigaraki is going to be the ultimate villain in that sense. Like Death Note can handle all of the scheming, the behind the scenes stuff. So can Dabi. So can some of the other guys. The professor can. But ultimately, I feel like Shigaraki is going to just do what he wants, and he's going to be more fulfilled after this. Like he's going to be less destroy everything, do crazy stuff just for the sake of lashing out. Like I do feel like he's going to be more liberated after this. Man. Or like if any of you have read Secret Empire, that's kind of what I'm thinking vaguely. Like what am I even saying? I feel like I've said the same analogy 5 times already. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. Let's not repeat myself a 7th time, or 6th or 7th or whatever. Where would I rank this? Honestly, better than Dr. Stone. My hero has been on fire. I cannot, in good conscience, put this below Dr. Stone or below Chainsaw Man. It is so extremely good. Alright, let's do author comments and get out of here. Author comments. Alright, starting with One Piece. Friday, August 9. He's in it, she's in it. The all-star movie Stampede opens in Japan. I've heard some cool stuff, like, I did watch the 2-parter filler, which was not very good. But the best parts about those 2 filler things are honestly just the OPs. Because the OP is the current OP, which I like, intercut with scenes from Stampede. And I didn't look at too many of them, but I saw a bunch of characters. Like, clearly, there's going to be, like, an all-star cast in it. Also, I do agree about the bonus hands. Like, I already talked a lot about it last week, so I'm not going to rehash it, but I do feel like it is going to be very important. My loose shoe went flying at the speed of a serious soccer ball shot. I'm sorry. Good alliteration here. If this alliteration was in the Japanese version, I highly respect whoever translated this. Do we know who translates these? I don't know if Jarek Lanes is a translator for Jump. Or no, he's a marketing assistant. Okay. Huh. I haven't really considered who translates these. Oof. I've never scraped my butt when I've gone horseback riding, though I've only gone a couple times. Boichi, yeah. Right. Oh my gosh, that's probably why, actually. Yuki Tabata last week also said that, like his wife was totally wiped. They were very, weak because they had, his wife just gave birth to a kid and they were dealing with that, like the first week of having a kid. I didn't consider that. Like, I thought of it as just, oh, they have a kid. Okay, that's done. But no, like, a kid is a big thing. Black Clover might be a little shaky for a little bit, which I'm fine with. Like, the last arc, I really enjoyed. I know some people haven't liked the most recent twist, but I think it's still fine. And, like, the series itself is okay. It's never been absolutely amazing, as you can see from its ratings a lot of the time, but, like, it has its moments. I do enjoy it overall. And if Yuki Tabata needs some, like, if he needs to pull a Horikoshi and just do a couple, like short chapters, I'd be fine with that. Especially because when Horikoshi did it, he did it in the middle of the, do I even want to say what arc that was? Because this is author comments, but like, he did it in the middle of an arc. Whereas here, like, Yuki Tabata just ended a big arc, and now he's doing a bunch of, like, in-between stuff. I'd be fine with a bunch of 12-page in-between chapters. Sure, why not? Long time no see. This one-shot also works to let everyone know that I'm still alive. Please don't forget about me. I'll never forget about you, Yusei Matsui. You're amazing. You are a legend. I will read anything you make now. I mean, I already thought that when I was done Ass Class. Like, Nero was okay. It is a very interesting series. I would genuinely recommend it to anyone, but it also has its flaws. Like, it's a very clear series in terms of its strong points and its weak points. Ass Class, I think, is nearly a perfect shonen. And then this, good. The thing he did with the what was it again? Like the abandoned like mall or whatever it was. Like, that was fine. But gosh, F Ken, so good. I pray that all the creators who provided so much joy can rest in peace. Yeah, it seems like now we're finally getting all the author comments from the fire. Right? This is, like, Hinamaru ended quite a while ago. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago, but still, this feels very delayed. Sorry I'm late, but congrats to Kawada-sensei. Yeah, we're getting a lot of these now. Huh. From Kinnikuns, I'm happy with the Monster Strike Collabo commercial. I don't know what this is. I'm not aware of Monster Strike as a franchise. My Hero. Ooh. Probably shouldn't be looking at this, because, like, visuals definitely get auto-striked sometimes. How is this a 46-minute... Like, how long is this? Oh, it's actually pretty long. I guess I'll watch it on my own time. Oh, homie, let me just read this real quick. Yeah, I can accept that. Like, I enjoy the formula in the same way that, like, I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I really enjoyed the last arc of Bleach, even though it was very formulaic. Like, I'm the kind of person who really starts to enjoy formulas if they exist for long enough. Like, same thing with Kaiji, for instance. Kaiji is all about the extremely weird Fukumoto formula, and I'm super into that. In the same way, like, Black Clover was very rough at the beginning just because it was so generic. But now it has an identity, and at the same time, it's done the same thing enough times that I enjoy it now. It's like, what's the best way to put it? I guess it's like a sitcom in that respect. Like, I know what I'm getting when I go into each chapter. That doesn't necessarily make it amazing, but it means that there are certain twists that I enjoy. Like, I really like Julius as a character. I like Yami. I think everyone likes Yami, though. I'm okay with Asta. I like Yuuna a lot more, but I feel like the series understands that, and it does, like, give you enough screen time if you like a lot. And I mean, teamwork in general is a big part of the series, and I like the teamwork. Like, the teamwork has still been pretty good. Though, even the Alpha arc wasn't the best with it. There was a lot of one-on-ones. Yeah, like, I can agree. It is very much a mixed bag. I bought a watermelon, but it wasn't the best. Still good, though. That is the most bland Fujimoto comment. He really doesn't know what to say at this point. Every day, it's either stuff I can't write about here or stuff not worth writing about here. Ah, boy, can I change the way this is, What? Why did that make it bigger? What is with this formatting? How did that make this bigger? I guess it looks best like this. I'm gonna cap this right now. Oh, I should probably close this. Don't worry, that was not a dojin. I was reading that on during an actual reaction. Like, during an actual Weekly Shonen Jump reaction, I should say. Like, not to make it weird. This feels just extremely useful. Why did that not... Okay. Yeah, I mean, the biggest tragedy of Black Clover is really just that Yuki Tabata had a much more interesting series. The name of which I don't remember. What is... it was Newton's something? What was it again? Or was it Evil Apple? What was that? But, the one he did beforehand, with all the like the artifacts from various scientific discoveries and how they each have their own special power. Like, that was super interesting, and it got canceled because it was too interesting in a way. Like, it also wasn't the best, but, like, it was more interesting in the chapters that came out than Black Clover was in the same number of chapters. But Black Clover was a lot more marketable, so it got, it got the big push. Hungry Joker, that was it. Hungry Joker. I was super into it when it was coming out. Yeah. Rip. But I mean, that's Jump. That's Jump. Speaking of That's Jump, if you're not reading The Last Saiyuki, I mean, it's on for everyone, but if you like slow-paced series, Would recommend it. It only gets better as it goes on, though it also only becomes more like itself the more it goes on. Like, I'd say, read up to, like, the first volume, like chapter 10 maybe, and if you don't like it, then you're not going to like it overall. But if you end up liking it after the first couple of chapters, because the first couple of chapters are a very slow burn, it is really good. Viz does collect, like, the individual clicks on each of these. I do believe I even have my ad block, like, turned off for Viz, and I don't believe they even serve ads. So all you're getting is, them tracking, like, how, like, which chapters of whatever you read. And that does, like, affects, like, I don't know how it affects it quite, but it affects it on the same level as the, what was it again? The popularity polls. Like, they do send that stuff back to Japan, so if you like Last Saiyuki, do click on it, do read it on Viz, because I really don't want it to get cancelled. I was stressed this week because 3 of my usual assistants were out. Lots of weddings in July. Oh boy. Sure? I watched The Matrix Reloaded with 4 friends in middle school. I wonder if they all remember that. What an extremely nothing comment. Okay, I'll take this, I guess. What in the world? Ooh, I have been reading more webtoons as of late, just on my own time, so maybe I'll give it a shot. I won't add it to the list of things I'll react to, but I might just read it myself. I've got to trim down that list. There's too much. Okay. Oh yeah, this is when we're getting all the monthly chapters as well. Cool. Not a lot to say about any of those. So that is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of August 4th, 2019. Probably going to cut most of that out because didn't say much, very much. Meh. But overall, really fantastic week. Like, Black Clover was disappointing. We Never Learn was nah. But we got a lot of cool stuff, and I really, really enjoyed fucking. I like saying the pause so much, even if it is meant to be fucking. Wow. Yusei Matsui, how are you such a good mangaka? How can you just come into Jump for one thing and just school everyone effortlessly? My gosh. Anyways, thank you all so very much for watching. This might, it's not going to be, I probably should say this. I'll say it again in the weekly updates. I should be able to continue doing Weekly Shonen Jump on Mondays. It's just, I'll get off work at 2, so at that point, I'll come home. If I'm tired, we'll see, but I should be able to do them at the usual time. So if you can come here for this, like, if these hours are okay, expect these hours still. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.